Medusa, you got to win so many duels in a row.
Yeah, not gonna happen today. I mean, it's not easy at the very least, and especially not up against a Sheriff, but still, this is just DFM, and we can see that the entire game plan in that pistol, although it is just a pistol, they just dove right into the site.
Yeah, now, picking this Lotus against DRX, I mean, DRX likes to play pretty default heavy on any map, so I'm not too surprised by it. I mean, we saw how their Haven eventually got dismantled as well, especially... Yeah, you love to see the energy from Stacks, but especially as if you're on the attacking side, just really force the issue on one part of the map, make sure that you're winning by numbers. So I get the idea. The pistol they chose B wasn't quite the one. It's also a hard one to kind of keep hold of in the post plan with those pistols unless you get that first kill.
That's exactly why. I mean, I'm kind of like wondering what the game plan is for DFM, and although it is just a pistol, and it is the DRX that goes default heavy, committing without much information is, I'm not sure if that's how they want to start things out, but at least right now, with nothing but classics, they will be able to look towards gaining as much information as they can. So both Nanostorms popped off. They know there is a bit of a Killjoy setup.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about in a round like this, especially when they go for the full save, but the fact that, first of all, obviously still trying to take advantage of the map itself, going for that easy ult Doorbud mound, and then checking for the setup on B. They note that the Nanoswarms are there. I mean, they're doing what they can, and to me, the biggest thing is similar to Gen G, I've heard rumblings that this DFM squad is looking fantastic in scrims, so once they're able to pick up rifles, we'll see how that goes, because this round, not much to do.
Oh yeah, more for Foxy9 with that Bulldog on the other hand. Stacks as well, and a simple cleanup for Flashback. The crowd loves this.
I mean, the Korean crowd, they've been waiting to be able to kind of cheer enthusiastically for DRX with a new roster. I mean, it used to be, you kind of knew that they were going to win, right? The excitement wasn't quite there. But then once the excitement did arrive, it didn't last long before they were dethroned. And then the representatives of Pacific, the hope of Pacific, became Paper Rex instantly on a dime. And DRX struggling to kind of find that magic that they once had. And the players, the coaching staff, some of the fans, some of, potential scrim partners are all saying Flashback might be that guy that brings that extra touch to the Korean squad.
We shall see, especially in the next coming days, if he's exactly what they needed. But here it is right now, starting things off. Foxy9 still a rather proven talent, still has that aim. Just wondering if we can trust our dogs or puppies to really go amok and just run wild and free and really do what they're best at. Meanwhile, apart from that right now, it's just still back to that default, juggling for info. Buzz trying to play around it. However, Blinded did not see Mei on the other side. Mei comes in and eliminates both Mako and Buzz.
Yeah, the flash was so good, but you got to remember this box is here. The potential.
Did he see?
There's more members. I think that angle is just tough to spot. Don't think it would have even shown up on the minimap either. So they're going to make it in safely. Still some damage potentially done. Oh, shows the elbow right through the box.
What a shot from Stacks. Now Prowler in just to see if anyone's nearby, so he's going to be able to re-peek the angle. Foxy9 coming up front around the door, up around tree now with another shot, despite just using nothing but a Bulldog. Turns things into a one-on-one for Stacks. Haunt out, and he knows exactly where Cess is at this point. Goes in. It's pretty much a heads-up duel at this point, too. As he peeks out, though, the Vandal with full auto simply bursts Stacks down. A little bit more easy for DFM to pick that up.
Yeah, a rough round. I mean, to be very honest, for DFM, of course, he dropped so many weapons, but in that last 1v1, Cess plays that very well, right? Puts up the smoke, shoots out the Haunt, and immediately he positions just right around the cusp of that smoke. So hard for Stacks to get the first peek. Good, crafty 1v1 from Cess. A great showing in this first match for him and the rest of the squad in VCT Pacific.
Just trying to keep things up, trying to keep things alive. 2-1 is a pretty good start. We shall see how they can continue forward. So far, Cess has been that person up around DFM, but of course we're watching up some of these other players as well. How do they support and set up Mei, who is now committing this showstopper? Spots out the head, able to get the splash damage kill on towards Foxy9. So that might just open up the site, but right around the corners, You've got stacks. You've got flashback.
Oh, that boom bot. I thought it wasn't going to spot him, and that would have been dangerous. But Buzz gets one kill to open things up, even things out 4-4.
Wow. What a way to shoot through the smokes. Seth, on the other hand, though, playing off the off angle. Buzz now with the showstopper. Gets himself trying alive to go up onto the platform. Stays alive, and that's the most important thing. And Paytm's committed as well. Gives a little bit more space for Stacks and Mako to come back in.
A couple crispy shots on the side of DFM, so honestly already I think there's a lot more hope for this squad. They could be competitive, however, Buzz just comes in firing. Foxy9, I mean, curious to see what the comms were, if we'll ever find out, because ultimates were coming online for DFM. Tried to stay in the site, drag things out just a bit longer. Got taken out by the showstopper, but just a good peek out by Buzz. And the fact that he's just able to stay alive long enough brings Mako into the site.
Still can rely on these two to definitely clean things up. But other than that, the showstoppers into this map, definitely a bit of a game changer. And it helps DRX out in the retake in the long run. Off to the next round now. DFM economy not so great, just a bit of a judge. I don't know how much that can really do though, unless you're able to find that pick. And given the positioning from DRX right now, it's not going to be the easiest task. Right into the nano swarms, and Stacks still hovering around the corners. Look at how quick the response is, Will. Oh my goodness.
I have bought enough time for the backup to arrive over from A-Link. Sure, you die, but you deny the plant, and they had already pushed them out of Link, so that was still technically DRX's control, and Mako, the awareness to get one more kill.
Neth, though, not too shabby, but how long can you hold this? He wants to retrieve the rifle. At this point, not really the wisest choice, but wow, okay, it's just a wide swing. Buzz not quite able to drag his mouse down along with that player model. And with that, all right, rifle retrieved. I've done my job. I'm going to hold on to this for the next round.
Oh, but the call comes out for DRX. They're watching both flanks. Flashback, well aware. So even if the spike does get picked up, I mean, they can always swing back together. Foxy9 trying to check both angles around him. That allows flashback just to wait for that crosshair. Gets the headshot.
I thought he was going to save, but he went back into it, and that's going to be flashback.
Guys, what do you think, guys? Who will win?
So 4-1 right now. DRX still very much so in the lead. I mean, not a too bad of a round for DFM, would you say? I mean, they just went for it with the judge and, you know, pistols.
I mean, it's 2024. I don't know if we can keep giving these, you know, very, very small pieces of cake on these rounds. Listen,
like
it wasn't.
match.
I mean, it was never meant to be a good round. That's my point, right? So I mean, counting
right
your stars a little
like
bit.
One-sided match. DRX
I'm not sure how far that's gonna go, because here's the thing:
DFM
because they bought him to the judge, it's still half armor for May as well.
Wow.
Nice man.
Yeah, that definitely could be something that bites him in the back. Okay, but so far,
DFM is the red one team, guys, and DRX is the green one team. Let's find it out.
DFM, because right now, although they have, you know, bits of fame, bits of shooting, bits of ideas as well, DRX are still very much controlling the map all around. I mean, look what's happening up around Rubble, especially up around B as well.
It's like, wow.
They need to win this fight one more time, and in a very explosive manner, because if they are not able to put pressure on either side of the map, this is such an easy defense for DRX, and it's a 3-site map.
Oh, yeah. Good flash again, though, but here comes Buzz. Oh, the spray down. 3 hits, 3 bodies down. May answers back with a double of his own, but is that going to be enough, though? He's down to 22.
Like
1 bullet is all it takes.
Oh,
Foxy
shit, man.
claims his head, and that's going to be
This is
down
definitely a game changer.
Oh, and they know that he hasn't come through. They're
Let's
all
find
around
out
him.
who will win. Oh my god, DRX is guys beating their ass.
Surrounded.
DRX
it's going to be gloomy clouds for
right
DFM for now.
Beating
they
DFM assays.
Look for a different idea to break apart this map, because DRX are still just having a good day.
Oh,
Flashback is just chilling on C.
I mean, that's his job, though, and this is the faith that they have in this guy, right? Is that if they do choose to go C, if they do choose to pressure early, we have faith that you will either anchor and get the kills, or you will smartly back out and get ready for the retake. That allows, I mean, also perhaps the very, very strong duo that has been really showing that hard carry potential for DRX, even on the international stages. Buzz and Mako to fight for Rubble control. That is not a duo I would ever want to have to combat, to break through on a part of the map.
Something in the chat.
So DFM, they've got their work cut out
Your
for
brother
them.
is
And,
waiting,
I
guys,
mean, if
come
you're
on.
not going to fight for it early, which, to be fair,
Just
I actually
type
do
something.
think the fade gives DRX a bit of an edge in the
So
very
that I
start of the
can
round,
understand
right?
what
Because there's
you're
always
trying
that
to
potential
say.
of the C's paint shells, and then
Oh,
they're
guys,
already going to be set up
let's go,
on
guys.
the cross
DFM is
angles. But
okay, timeout for DFM.
some
Let's
other
go.
timing here from DFM
It's only
rather
for 10
than
seconds,
waiting
guys. Let's go.
and showing
It's
yourselves on
only
other
for
parts of the
10
map. It's either
seconds.
that or a real
Now
fast
watch.
push into C. One or the other needs to happen. But C, it's
Now
always going to
watch.
be potentially the poison cloud, potential nano swarms, a turret.
Okay, the
So
timeout is over
I
now.
think this Rumble fight, you just have to do it at some point,
Timeout
right?
is
Whether you
open.
eventually go into the A site or not, it needs to happen.
No, the map is also a very, very nice map, guys. Lotus map.
We've seen little glimpses before with how they actually managed to break into C, or at least
Buzz
attempted
is
it. They
doing
managed to get the
the
spike down for
definitely
one
good thing.
round. Meanwhile,
Buzz
for A
and,
site, they
DFM
had that
assists
round with a great
for
flash from
DFM,
Anthem,
so guys-
setting up May for a couple of kills, especially up against Buzz too.
Let's find it
Just
out.
that didn't quite happen the second time because, of course,
Okay, then
Buzz is going to reposition.
Okay, nice.
But as we talk about C, here it comes. Despite this being a bit of an eco round, the Viper's Pit is committed.
I like
literally,
this
guys.
from
Viper
DRX.
Pit is very, very
They
much
used to
committed.
not do this,
committed,
right? Oh, okay, you see the shots come in,
Dude,
goes
that's
for the spray through the
awesome.
smoke, but I mean, they used to be like, it's an eco,
Wow.
just hold, and sometimes
No,
they would
Brawl
get
it is going
thrifty
on.
quite often,
Let's go, guys.
especially
Brawl
when they
is
go
going-
global.
Oh, wow.
So just saying, lock it down,
Right,
right? And then
the
put the
aim
threat of
is
the potential
awesome.
Killjoy support as well.
I
Keep
love
that
the
lead
guys.
up. You have
I
so
love
many
the
other
aim.
ultimates for retakes.
So, like, masterclass of map
Loving
control.
the aim by.
You can see, you
Crazy
can
aim.
literally draw a line, like a percentage of how much of the map DFM has control. It's like
Wow,
not even
yeah. Keep
50. It's not even
Reals.
40%. I would say
I
less.
mean, it's
than
not even
93
30.
guys,
It's not
If you
even
really
30,
think about
guys.
it, because I mean, let's take away the spawns because you start there.
hit that
Sure,
like
sure,
shot,
sure.
You're
like
not
shot,
getting
guys.
beyond the
Come on,
barriers
let's go.
right now.
You got maybe pillars, not even. Yeah, just right around mounds. That's
Subscribe
about
right now, guys.
it.
Come on.
Anthem up around rubble.
They're
yeah.
going for this with the Omen ultimate.
All right, we walk through. Foxy
Whoa.
up around the corners, instantly spotting
like
out
me.
the player outlines. Ooh,
Oh.
what a flick. Sets though, being able to
You know the
play
location,
off
guys.
of that
Let-
contact,
Oh,
gets a
wow.
shot.
Whoa.
Anthem with a flinch, a
Great.
bit of a double,
Whoa.
but Stacks brings things back.
Guys,
That fan in
DRX
the crowd
is
said they
literally beating
wanted
their ass.
B-Stacks to wake up from hibernation.
DRX
It's been
literally
some
beating
time.
DFM asses, guys. Come
But
on,
so
let's
far, looking good, looking crispy here
Let's go,
as the
DRX.
IGL leader for
go. We
DRX.
support you,
Yeah,
DRX.
Stacks has claws and knives
Guys,
to boot,
like
but
DRX
still,
is one-handedly
not too bad with those sheriff shots. Again, it's
Winning
still not
the
the round win,
matches.
but so far 6-1. Again, we're talking about that map control, and you mentioned needing to see DFM commit to a site.
Out of charges.
Maybe now with the full buy, maybe now with the Seekers, they might be able to pull something off.
And
Being
DRX is
1
too
point
much
away
gas.
from Alt as well.
Yeah, DFM's idea this whole time is shake up the setups on C and B,
Wow.
try to apply pressure, and then go to A, and now
Let's
DRX,
go, let's go.
what
Let's
a
check it
round
out,
to
guys.
start
So,
pushing
is
out.
the
This
DFM
momentum
gonna be
change.
chase-
Doesn't matter if
chase
their
DRX
Seekers
or
line
not?
swing is clean from Buzz.
Let's we have to wait,
This
guys.
is
We have
new
to wait
DRX.
till the match is over.
Not just
After
the white
that, we
swing,
will
you
know
got
that.
2 more players
Whether
aiding
DRX
him.
wins
Oh,
the winner
but
or
then
DFM
Mako
is the winner, right? Let's find
suddenly
it out.
eliminated.
Yeah, not quite ready for some
By
extra
the way,
trades.
guys, home you support
I don't mind the extra
DRX
pressure
or
put on
DFM.
from DRX. That's just a good fire back from DFM.
Come on, just pick
but the
one
point
choice
is,
in
they
the-
still have no control of Rubble.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah, I can't quite push out.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
You've got the toxic screen up towards C, but it's not doing all that much.
Yeah, but they do know
It's like
now
some matches.
that it should
oh
be
my
weaker on
God.
the A site, right? Anthem
Wow.
had activated those Seekers, so
Dude,
trying to
that's
claw their
awesome.
way back in.
I love
45
it.
seconds on the clock. Still options to rotate out as well. I do like this.
guys, rotating,
From here on
yes.
out, it's
Let's
still
find it
plenty
out,
of time
guys.
to rotate. You know that
Whether
they should
DFM
be
is
spread
okay.
thin
DFM
on
is
DRX.
rotating right now. Oh
If
my
they
God.
can
Yeah,
take
oh,
down
whoa,
Foxy 9, that
DRX
would
is
be
going
it.
to be.
That's what Anthem's calling for, but wow,
Okay, oh,
committing
wow.
on that
Wow.
nightfall, and it's so much information for
Woo,
Stacks.
woo, woo,
Showstopper
woo.
doesn't quite connect,
Whoa.
although there's a good bit of damage.
Wow.
Stacks goes down, Anthem trades
Finally.
it back up. You got 15 seconds left to secure the spike plan. Can they
Okay.
make it happen? Finally picking
Is
it
that
up now.
possible, guys? Is
We're
that
gonna
possible?
go for
Okay,
it
no,
in
no,
the
no.
corner.
The spike is
Anthem
planting,
watching
guys.
back.
The spike
Buzz
is
has
planted.
Showstopper.
Let's go.
Oh.
Whoa,
Flashback just
DFM
trying
is
to get
guys
information, but he
picking
knows that
picking
there
the
are
pace,
members
picking
in
the
the
pace.
site.
Good shot up on
Now
that
Buzz is going to.
corner.
Oh shit, guys!
Medusa.
Oh shit,
Shut
man!
out
Buzz.
midair. That showstopper's gone. Stacks is the only one here, and he has to push
Whoa.
up front. Goes in for the
The
person to
ah
lock down,
shit, guys!
and
The
that
Stacks is
when
not
Anthem
no more.
strikes.
DFM is
Risky,
picking
but
the pace,
good
guys.
post
DFM is
plan
picking the
from
pace, man. Oh
DFM.
my god.
Flashback, I was going to say,
It's a so
I wonder if Flashback
exciting
pushes
matches
in or
going
not,
on, guys.
because
There's
there's two
so
ways
much
to play
excited.
that. Either you swing out at the same time
Wow.
with the showstopper, or you're trying to get that information right as you
It's
arrive.
really
So Flashback
it's
peeks
really,
out.
really,
He
guys.
secures
It's
that
really.
there's members in the corner, but they
Watch
weren't
the
aware
replay,
of
guys.
how
Yo.
many were going to be
Wow.
out by Mound as well. Just a great save from Medusa.
Yes.
To
It's like
keep his teammates
fucked
alive.
up, man.
That
Whoa,
was the main-
Yeah, denying that
what
rocket,
a-
keeping up the lockdown
nice
as
one.
well.
Nice
A
one.
little quiet
Quitting
at the
back.
beginning of the map, but
guys. Let's go.
putting his name back on the board.
Yeah,
Let's
that
go to
nuke
the
went
next
off.
match.
It might have been a different story, but still.
Let's find it out in the next
Well
one.
played by Medusa nonetheless.
Okay, now
and we
the-
go back towards the DFM, trying to blind commit in towards B off
oh,
of the eco that
oh.
DRX has. They managed to gun down Stacks.
He's trying to.
Nanosword Bird's alive, and B
wow.
just flicks back on a dime.
Whoa,
Gets another shot.
one shot.
Buzz and Mako trade back
is,
through,
nice
though.
trade, nice trade.
Here comes Neth.
Oh,
They
shit.
want to secure the angles. They want to get
Whether
the spike
guys,
down, and all that's
DRX
left is going to be Mako,
oh
who
shit,
peeks
guys.
out
DFM is not picking the pace.
into multiple targets.
DFM already picking the
claims
pace,
the
boys.
third round
DFM
against
is already
DRX.
picking the pace, man. Oh my god.
An eco round from DRX, but
DFM is already picking the
uncharacteristically
pace.
taking 1v1
Wow.
duels just one by one.
Wow.
So
one by
I
one
am
started,
curious if,
picking
the new
DFM.
DRX, is it a change in the tempo as well for potential
Let's go.
timeouts, just to say, listen, like I know it was an eco, just cool things down a little bit. Because this is exactly what
Dude.
DFM was looking for in this round. Go in with the
This
better
is
firepower.
crazy.
And May, Medusa talks about it in the
This
Emerge video.
is
He likes him as an
crazy,
entry. He's
man.
going
This
in
is
and getting those
crazy.
opening frags. And so far, when he is set up, like
Though-
the Dust said,
Two.
May will make that happen.
Wow.
It's looking to make
6
it
and
happen
3, guys.
again.
Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
A little
nice,
bit of
nice.
fake around the
You
door.
know,
Yeah,
guys.
but DRX already has control of C-Mount.
Deflection.
They're already in the spawn. They know it's an A-hit.
Whoa.
Good timing on that peak
Crazy.
too from Stacks. However, great trade
Whoa.
from Anthem.
What
but
a
what
aim
is
switch.
this, Buzz?
Wow.
Almost with the spray transfer. Neff trying
A
to
straight
trade things
transfer
back
by
for
aim
his
switch
team.
is awesome, guys.
Mako wrapping up
Oh,
around
nice.
from behind
Two-
along with Flashback.
both,
They've got that Killjoy
Two places
lockdown.
are there.
So
two players are
DFM
there.
has to
Oh,
be very
nice.
careful. They are thinking about
I guess guys,
rotating off to the other
DRX have
side.
advantage. DRX
now,
have two teams, two players
caught
right
in
now,
no
and
man's land.
DFM has only one player
Here's
left.
the thing, Neth, if he does put that pit up,
Is the
he
DFM
knows
gonna
the
clutch it
lockdown's going
or,
to happen.
you
So
know,
he
guys,
wants, he just wishes he could get
Is the
one
DFM
kill.
gonna take
It
it
doesn't
out
matter
now?
if it's a Killjoy
Match?
Omen, but at least if you make it a
Okay.
1v1, you can
Maybe-
play for a timing
okay.
around those ultimates. But DRX, not one to overextend at a time like this. Mako, going for, he saw the barrel, and Mako will not miss the shot.
Wow,
One
crazy.
pixel. That's all it takes.
It's like oh,
And this
uh,
gentle guy keeps smiling. like
he's
that.
laughing right now, guys. Wow.
In game,
he's
it's
laughing
so
right now.
different,
My
but
God.
in real life, like, you just love the guy.
I
Teams
mean,
have-
he is just a
Teams
cozy
player
teddy
app
bear
do not
on
have any
stage.
stress, guys.
Right?
Let's
But then
see.
in the
Let's find it out.
server, I mean, cold as ice. That's the thing, right? He's not the fanciest player.
He is laughing
but
after
he
taking
is
the
just
last two, man.
tunneled in on the mission.
그래. 난 콜 때문에 말린 거라니까.
Wow, I
What did
don't
he say?
understand
He
what
said
he
something.
said, but
He
it's
said,
like
no,
big
you know, I
fun.
was in a slump because of something else.
7 and 3
because
matches.
obviously not too
Okay,
many kills
let's
so
find
far
it out.
here.
Right. Well, maybe he's got
7
a
and
couple
3
more
matches.
kills coming his way now.
My God.
Up around the C site,
7
trying to
out
set
of
place
3.
back in.
Whoop.
DFM trying to hold off a bit of a default, anticipating some pushes.
Yep.
They just don't have that information. They can't quite commit. Maybe B side
Yes.
again, but the setup is
They
different from
don't have
DRX
to,
this
you know,
time.
quite interesting.
DRX has been playing with the tempo quite flexibly, right? A lot of
Yeah, you
A-level
can
pressure
say
the
so,
early
Bra.
part of
You
this
can
map,
say
and
so,
now
Bra.
a
Yes.
couple fast pushes, and then the default that they so
Wow.
love. A 2-2-1, mind you, especially because of the focus on B side from DFM.
A's not challenged anymore.
Yes.
Dark cover says a lot though. Bit of a flash past it, pop through. Mako able to hold the off angle for a trade. Foxy9
Yep.
coming right back
Trade
in,
is
but
good. The
traded right
trade
back
is
out
good,
against his
guys.
counterpart. Here comes Mako though.
Trade
Great
is
shots to
good
start things
between
off, but
both
then me.
Players.
What a quick movement up on top of the platform. He guns down Stacks. This is now a 1-on-2. Buzz has got a bit of utility. Can he
Wow,
make it happen
let's
though?
see guys whether Buzz
The
will
way
take
May's
it.
looking,
Okay.
if May is able to
DRX
get the
will-
kill and DFM
Oh
gets
my
the round
God,
win, they
if
could go
that's
all the way
happening,
up
it
to
will
5
be
as well with
awesome.
the showstopper.
It will be a awesome
Not
match
quite.
if
Well, he'll get the showstopper. Now it's up to
DRX
Anthem.
will take it
Just
out.
trying to watch the angles. Bit of
Yeah,
a
it's
like
silent
time.
movement out around. Time is still ticking. Pink Shell's committed, but Anthem stays tucked away. Boombot confirms position, but Buzz
Yes.
has to push in. Oh, and with the
Whoa.
map changes, it's just all too much. He has to commit, and it's an easy strafe shot for Anthem to collect the fourth round.
In some weird
DRX
way,
is
it actually
losing
works out
his
even better. You get the
streak,
showstopper
guys.
and the Seekers online. One through the death,
DRX
one
is
through the
losing
kill,
his
and another
streaks.
round win.
Wow.
That 5th round win
What do you
could
think,
come
guys?
through, and at that point, it's already looking tighter than most people expected. But I would say DFM looking hopeful. And one thing I want to point out is they're actually not relying too much on Medusa
yep.
having to lurk and get kills. That was one of the things that used to bite the old Crazy Raccoon in the back. Is that things they wouldn't know how to go through it and be like, Medusa, go kill. If you do, we'll rotate.
Yes.
That's not
They
always
have
going
to
to
be
be their
rotate, man.
answers
They have to
here
rotate.
on DFM.
Maybe just a bit more of a
Let's
flank guard,
check
but
this
still, I
out.
mean, Anthem as the mainstay, as the calls come through, it just
Who
works
is
so
going
well.
to be win?
They've
Let's
got 4
find it
ultimates
out. It's
now
like
for this
DR
round.
DFM is
DFM.
picking
They
his
might
pace,
just
guys.
be able
DFM
to.
is picking his
I
pace, and
think,
DRX is
in the first
losing
half
matches.
it's 7-5, and that would be pretty good.
Of course, the
Is
big one's
still
on
DRX
DRX,
gonna
so
win
it is a
or not?
mind game of how do you bait out each other first.
Is
Seekers
DRX
just
is
break it
going
up.
to be still
DFM just
winning
wants
or
to get
not?
into the site. They'll worry about the counter ults later.
Okay, the
Wow.
ult
There is a
great.
counter
Oh,
ult
nice.
coming out from Buzz right now, though.
Buzz is,
Both
you know,
spins.
randomly fire. Buzz is
Doesn't
randomly
quite
firing the.
bind all too much, but it's just, I don't know, warning shots, explosive radiuses just right around this A rubble area.
But right as we had talked about
he's,
Medusa now,
he's
Medusa's
camping
in
right now.
position to go for the flank. If they're able
Whoa,
to get into the site, but a
camping,
judge,
camping right now with.
that's not what they want to
shit.
do.
Ah!
A
This is
shorty
very
will
bad
seal
decision.
the
This is
deal,
very bad
and now
decision.
it's up to Stacks.
The decision is
Teammates
very bad.
rotated over as well. Flashback, quick
Go
response.
backside, man.
But do you have the angle? That's the thing. Neff
Yep.
tries to hop up quick, tries to go for the Viper's pit, but the Hunt just buys his time
Okay,
away.
okay.
Not to
Ult
mention
is
the
Killjoy
lockdown
ult
too.
is
And
ready.
look at how they relay backwards.
Killjoy ult is
Foxy9
guys,
ready to
you know, already
pick them
placed.
off. Still though, B-side has been gained.
Yeah, and
Okay, the
Medusa
Killjoy
already
is now
shook up the
broke down.
backside as well. Now the pit up, looking like a tough retake.
Wow.
They know they want to get some of those early kills through the pit, but DFM's just not giving the angles away.
Yep.
It's not that
DFM
ult
is
usage, but
not
still
gonna
DRX
be, you know,
1 point
losing.
away for each of Stacks or
DFM giving
Foxy9's
two
ultimate. As
tough
soon as
fight,
they
guys. Let's go.
maybe spray through and get the single one, but look at the angle. Seth,
Whoa!
shorty. Second shot fired through. Does tag
It's
Mako
like
up to
something
really
is happening
low.
right now, guys.
Allows
Something
for
is
Ness to spray through,
better
and
than
Stacks
yes, nothing. Yeah.
just
you can say
decides
so.
to
Come on, guys.
go
Hit
over
that
to the
like,
next
share, sub,
round.
like, share,
7-5
follow.
he
Do
tries,
it.
but that's wow.
We all are
DFM
waiting, guys.
coming
Come on,
up
guys.
huge in this first half.
Do it.
7-5 is honestly a pretty solid scoreline, especially considering that switching
Can you all
out
just
the
hit
Sky
that
for
like,
the
share,
fade
sub,
here for
like, share,
DRX,
follow?
it was meant to take control of Rubble, especially
We
on the
need some more
defensive side.
subscribers,
It's not
guys.
gonna
Come
be
on,
as
come on,
easy
come on.
to
Share
try
with
to
your
force that
friends and
issue
family
unless you're
members
really
too,
dumping
so they
every
can
piece
also
of
watch this
utility. And even
extreme
then, I mean, this time
epic
Sky,
level
you
gameplay
can wait for those counter
between
flashes
DRX
right
and
on the
DFM.
defensive side, and you'll get
It's
a
now
wider
halftime, guys,
radius a lot
halftime.
quicker as you creep up to that box. So
7 and
I
5
think
is going
DFM
on
is
right
going
now.
to be okay, considering a bit of a rough start
After
that they had
half
losing the
time,
pistol.
guys, wanna be
I'm still
DX
just
gonna be
a
win
little
or
bit
DFM
taken
is,
aback, a little bit
beating
surprised.
the ass of
The game
DRX.
is
Let's
evolving.
find it out.
We are feeling some of these
After
changes.
the
You saw
30
that
seconds
with the layout on C site and how
No,
they
it's
plan to
20
spike.
seconds left.
You
Let's
saw that
go.
with the judge that Buzz was holding.
Let's
and
go, let's go, let's
how,
go.
you know,
Let's
DFM is
find
able
it
to
out,
capitalize
my
off of
friends.
that.
Let's find it
So,
out.
off of those bits of control, or maybe some of these counter flashes that Sky has, DFM is actually able to come back into the game.
Yep.
As we swap sides, though, I mean, what are you thinking, Will?
Well, I mean, again, I think it did take them a bit longer to get a read on, you know, exactly DRX's
Come
setups
on, guys,
and
hit
how
that
they're really
like,
spreading
share,
across
sub.
the utility,
Do
etc.
it.
Sure, DRX's comp was meant to do that. It was meant to win out the Rubble fight and
Subscribe,
things like that.
Share.
But
yeah,
surely they
I'm
should have an
waiting, guys.
answer,
Come
because
on, chat.
now still with the Haunt able to return
At
on a
least say
cooldown,
something in
obviously
the
not
chat,
too many
guys. Come
times in a
on.
round, but DRX could still go in, get info,
Can I get
and
your
then
support,
set up
love
for an
and support,
execute
guys?
with
Come
the
on.
Prowler and, of course, the Paranoia.
Can I get your love
So
and support,
DFM,
guys?
what's their
Can I
answer?
get?
Surely
Can I have a
they
channel
play a bit
support?
more aggressively here, pushing out a couple times.
I wonder if that's what that pillar's positioning is all about. But you're absolutely
Right,
right. That's
cutie pie.
DRX's game plan. That's our option.
It's like cutie
Oh,
pie on the
we're
top,
actually-
guys.
Toxic screens towards A.
Yeah,
Whoa.
just crossing across each other. But
Now let's.
DFM wanted to kind of go for a
Halftime
fake
is
that they were
over,
weak on
and
B, right? They put up the
in
one way
this
onto C.
section, guys,
They show
let's see
themselves a
who
little
is
bit with
gonna
the
be-
screen on
who
A.
is gonna be
And
winning,
DRX
the
did not
DRX or
bite.
DFM?
So now they're just all gonna back out.
We just got flashback watching the back with the sheriff. The rest of them trying to set up for that position. Is this like one of these classic DRX executes?
Well, DRX senses something fishy. It's just too quiet around A. And if it is going to be left empty, they have to watch out for the back, which is Flashback not moving at all near A main.
Okay, so that's what Flashback is doing. Meanwhile, the rest of them have cleared out the entire site. DFM trying to get a read for DRX's executes, and that's why they fall back so far, but a little bit too far. Spike is down. Medusa trying to get the shot onto Buzz. Paint Shells flushes him out of position, and that's going to be the frag. A bit of a reload as Mako finds a trade on towards May. And then the shots go through even further. Here comes, Stacks though, but only for the time being. The rest of them now needing to watch that spike. Out in the open, DFM tries to play around the screens, but how long can they dance back and forth? Not before DRX comes in.
The two youngsters getting a kill each to finish off that pistol round. Both pistols going to DRX. That's one of the reasons, obviously, they stayed in the lead in the first half. And it might be just what they needed to close things out safely on Lotus. I mean, the fact that they were just so insistent on watching the flank. They just knew someone would be in. Now, they probably expected it to be Medusa, because that's usually his role, but this time it was Anthem. They will be rewarded nonetheless for the patience.
Still very much so strong fundamentals, good reads all throughout the game. But what is this from DFM? Pistol round. We're banking on this. Did Foxy9 see something?
I think he saw perhaps one of the jump peaks. Either way, though, you bought up the extra guiding light. You already used it, but no rewards there. So this could very well turn into a round where DFM's going to have to pick and choose between, giving away potential kills. Now they're trying to go in on an offbeat. It looks like they're trying to get up close to C and surprise DRX.
Just a wee
hear
bit.
The reload.
Not too much of a surprise anymore, though, as they push through. Runs out of ammo. Neth able to secure the kill on towards Mako. Not too bad.
Not planted yet. And the door's pressuring them from behind.
Is that a lot of pressure? I feel like with the rifles, DRX still should be able to shoot them down. Yes, it's a lot of smokes. It's a lot of question marks.
Well,
they should.
Yeah, the tempo's away from them now. I mean, right as Anthem peaks there, they were hoping to get one more kill. Not able to secure it. Oh. Flashback.
Wow, that's sharp. That is crisp. Still some kills that are good enough to bring them over to the next round.
Flashback's looking calm on stage. I mean, he looks like he belongs here.
Not that much of a rookie. From the academy, but
well, no, I mean he's absolutely a rookie. The only real experience he has is the couple matches that he played during this offseason, but he looks like he was always ready to play on the main stage.
And that's what I mean. Oh, there might be a bit of an issue as we go in for a tech pause for the time being.
Don't sound so disappointed. It's a friendly face. Hopefully not too long of one here. Thank you so much, of course, for everyone who has been waiting around. I think everyone right now, all around us, obviously, lots of fans who have been waiting for the DRX opening match of VCT Kickoff here in Korea. Everyone just hoping to get right back into the game. And, I mean, DFM, the unfortunate story is the bar was set very low for this team, right? Let's not beat around the bush. The bar was set very low. Obviously, very much new faces. Four of them all coming over from the old core Crazy Raccoon roster. Only Anthem remaining as the IGL. But some things that, a couple of the fans who have been following Challengers Japan, or I would assume actually a lot of the fans in Japan as well, were, okay, well, this team looked like they had some individual potential. The question was who's doing the calling? And Neth's calling often left something to be desired, and then Anthem's now the one calling. Off of his experience trying to lead a team in VCT Pacific 2023, he wants to come in with a motivated new roster with some very good individual talent like May, who's already shown good highlights, going in, getting double entry frags, trying to prove a point. It's not bad because you started at such a low point, but surely these players want so much more out of this match from DRX.
Am I getting the sense that, are you disappointed with the performance so far from DRX, or?
I'm not saying it's disappointing, but I'm just saying that it wasn't hard to impress anybody when it comes to DFM's history. And the thing is anyone who was hyping them up saying, well, yeah, but they've got potential, I hear they're doing well in scrims, etc. All of those things pointed to them being much more explosive. Now, again, yes, Lotus and then the map, the comps, DRX came in prepared for the defensive side. The Rumble fights were good. But, I mean, I think part of it was just getting the fast reads, right? And then trying to make sure that if you are messing up the setups on B and C, you go in on a timing, you kind of take that risk at some point. If you're on the attack, you need to be the one who's taking initiative. So the big question is now on defense, are they able to pressure DRX into the same mistakes?
Let's find it out.
So in terms of the strats and the calling, sometimes without information, without that additional guesswork to really push in through a site, sometimes it leaves DFM a little bit lacking. But of course, you know, we're expecting the win result from DRX.
Match is started
we're talking about literal champions, or you know, ex-champions versus.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a while since I've seen DRX lift up a trophy. So.
I mean, throughout the league last year, 2023 versus DFM score. Is this the scoreline that we're looking at? Is a 9-5? Yes, it's not the most impressive thing, but it is still a bit of an improvement. How much does it say? DFM right now with the full binds, they are going in for that hold.
Another retake setup for A for
3-1-1 though, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna back out. I mean, you already see Net going all the way up deep into the backside of Heaven, so they are giving this up. Even potentially B side. So because of that, they want to up the tempo, pushing out of Mound, but Flashback is now dug into B main.
DFM gonna chase them down, or DRX will going to be winning
a little bit. Can't quite peek out of the top Heaven for now, but look at what's happening on the mini-map.
Turret not facing them just yet, but they will have to cross that line at some point. They're hoping that he peeks out on a timer, but no need. Good faith in that turret coming out from Flashback.
Alright. Flash definitely gives it off. Flashback spots the barrel, able to get the first shot, goes in for a second, but double dipping, he gets punished. DFM now with the retake, setting up through. It's gonna be Cess who takes down Mako. Buzz now trying to hold from right underneath. Good support from Foxy, and they managed to fend them off. It's just enough utility, buying enough time. While DFM continues to try to push up. They're slowly starting to burn through the timer though. Anthem just sticking up to it. Is it enough? It looks like it. As DFM picks up the 6th win up against DRX.
DFM gonna be
a good retake from DFM. Once they realized that they would have to go through the turret, I was afraid that they would wait so long because Foxy9 was actually getting ready to lurk all the way around stairs, wrapping around to defender spawn. But once they realized, okay, we can't wait on this any longer, they just go in with the pop flash. The guiding light popping right around the corner allows them to get the first kill, and then it's just trades chain through. Sure, decent support from Foxy9.
Nice.
But, you know, DFM, they upped that tempo on that retake. They started on the right timing, now trying to catch up.
Sometimes feels like flashes are still just so valuable. I mean, still so effective, even with the changes, the fact that it doesn't refresh.
Who's gonna win the match?
In a combat situation like that, you know, Stack's completely blinded.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, once you send it out, the value is still strong. But you just can't spam it non-stop and absolutely pressure one part of the map.
9-6
Which is why I won't really fault
DFM is giving them
too much.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, which is why I don't play Sky anymore. Because to be honest, that's why I don't play it anymore.
Never played Sky in my life.
Wow.
Competitive.
You know me, I'm more controller guy. Anyway, DRX still taking things slow. And DFM not really getting too much information off of it apart from the utility. So as soon as the door is broken through, it's a bit of that B pinch. Buzz trying to break in. Oh! Whoa! Shot and step just lines up perfectly with Buzz's crosshair. Here comes the paint shells to block them off. The spike plant is secured.
A spike plant is
That's
done,
unfortunate.
but
I mean, says he was just a sacrifice here to a well-timed attack from DRX.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it gets hit by the paranoia, and at that point, you're just hoping that the Shadow Step lands and saves you, but Buzz waits for it and shoots right through.
And as soon as the retake comes up, I mean, you can bank on those flashes, but if they don't quite land, if if DRX are playing anti-flash, yeah, just running out of time at that point. Can't quite secure the kills, can't quite get a bit more space into its sights, so retake's impossible at this point. And it's just another one of these rounds with DRX.
Okay,
getting
DRX is gonna be win.
setting up
Let's
for
go,
that
guys.
classic
DRX
site
is
hit.
going to be winning.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to try opening the store. No, they're not.
DRX
Obviously
win by
not
DRX is
great on the
gonna
creds
be
for DRX either. I mean, they'll be fine, obviously, especially
DRX
winning
is
the
still
round, but
winning.
not enough to greet just
DRX
yet.
is still beating
DFM
DFM
running out of credits to spend. They'll have to carry over these 2 rifles.
Wow.
And that's where you start thinking about your life on the map. DRX still looking pretty decisive in some of these rounds.
Guardian, Vandal, Phantom. Classics for the rest. Okay, I mean, a Frenzy upgrade, sure, but no armor for Neth either.
Oosh.
Huh.
Now let's wait.
Well, they are
Check
trying to
this
hold
out.
more
DRX is going to win, guys.
Anthem jiggling
DRX
up
have
around
to only win
pillars.
3 more rounds
this
and
is set
then
up for
they
Anthem,
will
right? The
want the
paranoia.
first.
Ooh.
Yeah, he wanted
reach
to
the
set up
first
kills for the
checkpoint.
Vandal, but
Wow.
already knowing that the Vandal is there is not what DFM wanted.
Just feels risky. At least with the utility towards Rubble, it holds off DRX for a second, long enough for me to get in the position up and on an off angle. But as soon as this curtain drops, though, Foxy9, he's got an idea of his own.
Yeah, but this one way helps. He knows it can't be an easy cross angle, so he's lined up for just the 1 kill. Good setup and good support from Neth. He even gets the Vandal and gets out for free. DRX just says, okay, if that's the setup, we want to rush and get the plant onto the other side of the map.
They're rushing over just as quick as Foxy9 drops. But guess what? Up around the doors, DFM presses that button. The flash comes out. They might be able to break them apart. Buzz, though, guns them down for a little bit. But it's a classic that ends his life. Suddenly, it's going to be flashback cut into 1-on-2.
Never a better time than to prove the hype was correct. Kermie says with time he thinks Flashback can become the greatest player in Korea.
No, let's find it out, guys, whether DFM KJ can be, you know.
Paranoia calls it true. Gets the first shot. A bit of a swing from Neth. Ooh!
Oh my god!
Back and forth, and it just throws Flashback off for a little bit.
That's good.
In for a loop, it's gonna be DFM picking up that 7th win.
That gonna be
that's
tough.
With a little nod to Coach
tough.
Jeremy saying, you're right, he does need a little bit more time. Wins out that 1v1 duel. This was good.
That is crazy.
Foxy9 just kind of had to commit to the bit there, but the one-way setup.
He just kill him with
starting it
classic.
after the toxic screen. You can tell that, they're happy, but obviously it was a little bit of a nail biter, says. Bit of a nervous laughter there.
For both sides. But still, DRX in the lead right now. Economy slowly starting to run dry. A bit of a heavy investment for May on that operator.
It's going to be a fast hit. We've got the showstopper available as well.
Just TP right now.
Okay, we're not seeing anything outside B for DFM. DRX making their presence known outside
DFM is slowly crawling right now, guys. DFM
waiting for the push out
right
from
now.
B. DRX still leaving their options open. They've had a couple of successes pinching onto B site.
Okay, wait for the dark cover. Is that the game plan? And then just commit towards, wow.
It's a 2v1 on main though.
Flashback, do you have what it takes?
Shit.
Shoulders exposed. That's all Seth needs. May now with the shot on the Buzz. Stacks though not refusing to back down. By his lonesome takes down 2.
Okay, now DRX is still, you know.
With the spike down now and a bit more information. He's got the C's. He's trying to keep them away. Lockdown committed. Oh, and then Foxy9 shot out from the back. It's gonna be Stacks trying to bury his fangs and slash his claws, but still Neth just makes them blunt for the time being. Mako,
the timing! And you know
timing!
The worst part is this has happened to Mako before!
Whoa!
My goodness!
It's few seconds.
The thing is,
feels bad, man.
He had to go in on a split second that the lockdown ends.
True.
Few seconds ever.
Yeah, you just gotta laugh it off. What can you do?
He's smiling at that one. You know,
भाई
it's
stun
Well,
or
Stax, I
what
think Stax was kind
यार?
of laughing into their comms just to loosen things up.
Crazy.
yes.
I mean, it happens because otherwise you're
It's
giving
like
away
a
the
few
half so much for
seconds.
free. It's still a
Only few
2v1.
seconds, guys.
And you never
Shit,
want to play
yeah.
that flame game either. Not on a stage like this.
You can hear Seth still like, oh, okay. Like waltzes in.
All
It's
right,
like
May
the
still
DRX
on that
is still coming.
operator.
Yep. And DFM is also prowling
Gives
right.
out the info.
Oh,
What a tap from Buzz.
I think Buzz might have spotted on that jump off of the box earlier too, so he was ready for it.
And off of it, the showstopper now onto
one
the
is
top of
here.
the platform. We can push it
is
deeper.
gonna bust take some
Seekers
kills.
gives
Oh.
us the info that
They're
DFM
not
is
getting
trying
any
to
kills,
flank
guys.
up a little
Oh shit.
bit. So DRX should be set for this retake.
That's done.
Simple frag for flashback. Now long range duels, and he is
Whoa,
online.
DFM is gonna be
Looks
guys.
out for the
taking him
third.
down.
It's gonna be Mako that seals
Oh,
that deal.
oh, is DRX
And then
okay?
Sess.
DFM is
Mako
gonna be losing
operator
this time.
kill.
If
A
I'm
rare
not
find,
wrong.
but a clean one.
Yeah, I'll put that nice one into my little
Everything
collection
is fine, baby.
of
Yeah,
kills.
it's a good one. Not that we got to see it, but we did see the kill feed. Well, I mean, you gotta save. It's not map point just yet, so carry over whatever you can. It's gonna be a little wonky, but
not?
with half armors, they should be able to make something work.
Whoop. DRX gonna winning this
Not the
round. guys.
easiest task.
Literally like
and,
DRX gonna winning this round.
we are nearing map point after all.
Awesome. Now
But
what?
that's it. I mean, so far,
Who's gonna win this
just
match?
some decent, fun Valorant being played on stage.
Still
you got
DFM have
DFM
time.
showing some
Yeah.
you know,
Still
little
DFM
improvements
have
here and there.
time, lots of
Nice
time.
firepower from the new pickups from Crazy
To catch up
Recruit.
DRX.
But DRX,
Or to
I
beat
mean,
the
this was a
DRX.
map they never wanted to play. Not too
But
much.
they have to do
They
it
showed it at ABL a little
ASAP.
bit. They showed it here, and it's still pretty good.
But they
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
do
the
this
first showing, and
ASAP.
this, we talked about this before whenever a new map comes out. Like, DRX likes to hide the new map for as long as possible, and they're like,
Sunset,
haha,
yeah.
here's the wild card, and then it's
Whoa.
like, well, it actually wasn't that good, so we'll come back next time. And then they look good, right? After a whole another split or a whole another tournament, they look good. So that's kind of what happened to Lotus as well.
You guys can see what Will looked like next to me. That's the goofiest post.
Well, that's what it felt like watching DRX trying to hide away this new map as if it was some crazy masterpiece that they had concocted. I mean, it was the same thing with Fracture. For those of you who remember when Fracture was first released, like they were saying like, oh, and they had even told us on the Korean broadcast that, oh, scrims are going well, like our Fracture's gonna be so good. And we're like, all right, and they opened it up against Fnatic, and Durka was just like, haha, double satchel up, and then you guys are all dead. So, I mean, I think they are starting to learn the lesson. Hopefully we don't see the same thing with Sunset. But anyway, been a while since Lotus came out. It's looking good. And now DFM off of a timeout with the half armors. They have mostly rifles, but only a stinger. But if they get the plant, it's the pit for Neth.
That would be lovely. Still though, DRX, same game plan, making their presence known up around A. Dark cover being propped up. Slight difference this time though from DFM in terms of Neth's toxic screen. They have to think twice about pushing into A, or it's just to bypass it through the door.
Turret's
Oh,
destroyed.
Neth just going to use it early instead of on the retake. Just wants to scare them away. And that
Oh.
way he can utilize his stinger a little bit better as well.
Not bad. But now that it's committed, I mean, there's an option for DRX just to rotate over.
Yeah, I mean, I have my questions here because so much time was left, and they don't exactly have the greatest tools to go for a retake
Whoa.
onto B.
Sess on that from the shadows Omen ult for info. A little bit early up around mountain, he didn't see anything, so I don't know if he's calling it clear.
Wow, guys, let's find it out
kinda
whether
jiggling up around C.
this.
I mean, perhaps it's just
Is
some
that-
way to try to pressure them into B as they're already set up for it, but DRX isn't taking that bait. The C
Match
should
is
be
very,
landing.
very interesting happening right now, guys. Match is very,
Alright,
very
trying to step
interesting
away.
right now.
This is now a retakes game. Stinger 4 rifles
The
up
match
against
is very,
fully
very
equipped
interesting.
DRX. They try to push through, they try to go along Anthem Flash, but Buzz is still just that good. Positioning an elevated angle from Mako as well, though. May makes it a trade, but then here comes Flashback. DRX's
But
teamwork is
still,
still
we
just that good.
DFM have time.
Well,
Still DFM
Got
time,
pick
guys.
up a rifle.
Two
Yeah,
miss.
I mean, not much you can do. You have to. Yeah, I guess you save it at that point.
DRX
Already
has
so
to
much
win
time
only 2
passed
rounds,
as well.
and
Stack says,
DFM have...
come back.
Oh.
And that's a sure. Nice little
Okay,
conversation
DRX
between
gonna be
two
winning
veterans.
this. Yeah, DRX is gonna
And
win.
Flashback says, full stop, period. We're done. It's map point now.
Nothing flashy, but very reliable from Flashback. Curious to see how he's going to look on other maps. Of course, he's been tasked with kind of anchoring and holding the flank so far, so not too many opportunities to show his stuff either.
Crazy.
Yeah, the first half just chilling on C.
Yeah,
Crazy,
not too many
guys,
rounds where he actually even got a
crazy
taste of the
going on
action.
right now. Let's go.
But it seemed like that retake, part of it was the map changes a bit, right? The boxes had the extended length of it. I missed
More
that.
vision.
Sorry, kind of
It's
spoke
a
over it.
waterfall.
Now this is the final round. Let's see, is the
Gotta remember
DRX
that
gonna
Buzz is
win
a-
this
yeah, Buzz is
in
a
a
very
single
talkative
go,
guy, so whenever
or
we see him on camera,
DFM
probably
still have
has something
some
nice
gut
and fun to say.
to defeat DRX?
If anything, though, I think Flashback
Let's
might
switch
show us a
and
bit more
watch.
breeze, perhaps, as that is the next map. But here we go. Bit of a
Let's
last
wait and
effort
watch.
from DFM. We've got the judge on net. 5
Oh,
rounds.
nice.
The first one has been spent. 4 slugs remaining. And the rest of DRX.
Whoa!
They tried.
Down.
Spike down. The rest of them want to corral
but
around, and
it's
they managed
not
to make it
up, okay.
happen. Spike and Sight still picked up.
You should run.
Got
Both the
exciting for a
squad,
second.
1-1 player down.
Yeah, but no support. And then DRX, sure, this lockdown can feel a bit early, but there's just no way for them to break it. Just trying to hop around away from that Trailblazer as well.
I want to bite that lockdown. Nothing doing for now.
Imagine if the Trailblazers could break the lockdown.
No. Will.
I think this is the beginning of the end here for map 1.
Certainly feels like it. Look at
Not
the
much
positioning
time.
from DRX. The timing, yeah, it's not great. Paranoia sets up, but they have to push in now. And as soon as they make it past the toxic screen, it's an easy shot. Foxy9, 1, 2, 3.
Whoa!
Last one on the other side, and Mako steals it away.
Guys, DRX gonna win the round, baby.
DRX.
First round.
A solid win for DRX.
First point goes to
On map
DRX.
1 on their opponent's pick of Lotus.
Now
And
let's
DFM,
see.
I mean, especially because it was their map pick, I want to say, I have to imagine they had more that they wanted to show. This wasn't
In
the
the
entirety
second,
of their
match,
preparation.
who will
There
gonna
were some good
win?
moments,
Let's find
especially
it out.
individually. There were a couple good calls as well. But at the end of the day, it did not look like they were able to open up their entire playbook and showcase why they felt confident on Lotus. So you can see a bit of disappointment in themselves, it seems. But the match isn't over just yet.
Certainly not. We still got another map to go, maybe 2 if DFM picks up the next one. It is DRX's map pick, though. So you know what? I'm going to let our analysts break all of that down.
And DRX pockets Lotus, the first map on
Let's
this
go,
series.
let's see.
Now, look, we see the scoreline. I mean, they're going up against
DFM
one of
lose, but it's
the titans
still-
of Korea, DRX. But
Still
DFM
DFM have
came
hope,
up
guys.
huge in the first
Still
half.
DFM have
They
hope.
really did, and I mean, this was a lot closer than you would have
If they
anticipated, given that
win
DRX
the
was able to
next,
find both of the pistol
round.
rounds. You know, they were taking those away, but DFM with
Still
some
they have
very solid perseverance
choice, they
continued to
have
fight
time.
back. Yeah, it was really scrappy, but we saw some really nice moments coming through from Neth, from May. I mean, pretty much everybody on the team here fighting tooth and nail to try to get themselves into a winning position. And but DRX, they do manage to come out on top. Some really solid performances from Stacks in particular, as we'll see his scoreline in a little bit. And kind of back to being that fragging IGL, which was something that was severely lacking for DRX in the last couple of years. Well, not last couple of years, but last couple of tournaments, let's say.
Yeah, definitely the last couple tournaments. And we were talking about this. DRX, I mean, we haven't seen massive changes in their playstyle, but is that what we needed anyway, Asterai?
Not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
they wanted to have that consistency over any massive
Yep.
changes. To be honest,
You
that's
can
why
say so.
I was telling how they wanted to at least have the stronger guns with Foxy9 as well as Flashback. And boy, did you actually see both of those players just have some insane shooting highlights throughout this entire first map. So I think it's going in the direction that DRX wants, but as the casters were mentioning, they haven't shown all of what they've got.
Perhaps. I mean, you know, the big issue here is this DRX just kind of getting everybody to that point, to where they were when they had Zest and RB in this roster, and then building on top of that, because obviously the concern is, do you hit the same ceiling? Do you continue to just be in this position where you look good, you look the same, but you don't necessarily look better. So that's the thing to look forward to in the future. But as we get ready to go
guys, do
into
it that like,
Breeze,
share,
a map
sub,
that we
like,
haven't
share,
seen too
follow.
much
Come on,
of,
agar aap channel
pretty
bana
much
hai
from
to please do
anybody,
that.
but from DRX in particular
Edit.
in VCT, we
Hit
haven't seen
that
it since
like,
they played
share,
against
sub, like, share,
Optic
follow.
back in Istanbul
Come
in
on.
their lower final.
I'm
I'm
still
curious if
waiting
they
for
have
your
anything
support,
new
guys.
or if
Come
this is
on.
going to be similar to our, Talon v Secret Ascent, where it's like, okay, well, we're just kind of back to stock
We
standard
have to
stuff.
cross,
So I
guys.
wanna see some
100k.
new
We
things
need
from them. But for
support,
DFM,
guys.
I think this is a solid
We're
effort.
still
They
lacking
managed to kind of
99,000
tie the record as far as
subs
rounds
left.
won
Come on,
against
guys.
DRX, because they did get 8 on a fracture versus them during the regular season last year in Pacific. But overall, I do think that things do look a bit more concise for them.
And we got the 2 races MVPing here, and Terming had his eye on May, and rightfully so. He showed up as the race.
Yeah, and that's just, again, because of how strong May does perform. We saw how he was able to create those double satchel plays here, but there were some points where, again, they were very much separated by DRX, and DFM just couldn't really play off of May's capabilities, and it left a lot of the players, sometimes the leftover players, kind of just struggling to find those rotations, and that's where I really think DFM needs to focus on. We see Esu, Neth, there was this one round where they didn't just plant the spike because they didn't really know where their opponents were, and you saw how lost DFM was. So if they can find that, the answer
Now,
to that
guys, DFM
problem,
gonna
it'll
chase them
definitely
down,
look a lot
chase
more better here
DRX
for
down,
DFM.
or what?
Yeah.
We did see moments of glory from
What do you think,
Anthem
my
as
friends?
well.
Kya hoga ab
Continues to
agle
be
5
really
mein?
effective on the Sky.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to that, the Sky in general, he's got really good game sense about when he should use his utility. But aside from that, just his fragging power continues to be quite good. Yeah, I mean, he's playing this, support role, trying to really enable May. And you can see, based on May's stats, that he's doing a good job of it. 12-17, not going to be the most impressive thing, not jaw-dropping or anything. But we also did have that nice highlight where he had the Sheriff in hand, manages to come up with several quick kills. So Anthem still very much has it. But I think the thing for a lot of people to consider in this is that DFM still are going to be a team that is very much kind of growing from the ground up. Yes, there is a lot of experience between 4 of these players, but Anthem now needs to fit into that mix and kind of find his position, find like what is going to be maximum comfort for him and how he interacts in this squad that has played together for so very long. So while they work towards that, we're going to see some growing pains from DFM, but overall I feel way more positive about the team just after this initial showing, even though they still come away with a loss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys, remember, DFM, this is a really brand new roster. Besides that, a lot of them, this is the first time on the Pacific stage. So this is a pretty amazing showing. Like you said, despite DRX winning 2 pistol rounds, it is a lot closer than you think. On DRX's side, it looks like they're working on it too. And like you said, are they going to hit the ceiling? It looks like they still need to tighten a couple of screws and get it, a lot tighter.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, for May to be able to really stick alongside Buzz in a loss where you're only able to pick up 8 rounds for your squad, it's pretty damn impressive. And I mean, we knew that this guy could deliver. He has been one of the best over there in Japan for a while. And he's continuing to just already be in the spotlight.
I just want to see how he's going to fare out in a more open map that is going to be Breeze, because I feel like even though we were talking about how DRX, hasn't really changed their play style, the pace at which they can actually go for plays, I feel like is so much faster in that particular first game. You saw how there was that one round where Mako made the big mistake. The round after that, they just charged
that's
and they were able to
crazy.
get so many frags very quickly that it showed that DFM was not prepared for that. So again, these change of paces that DRX has in their arsenal of what plays they can make definitely put DFM on their toes. And again, a lot of challenges for this big star that is May.
That was very uncharacteristic of Mako, though, I have to say.
You saw his face.
I think it's the second time that that's happened to him. I think William was talking about it as well in the broadcast. I believe that has happened one other time. But yeah, it's one of those things, heat of the moment. You're the guy that everybody looks to be the clutch god on the team. And sometimes you make a little bit of an oopsie. I mean, at the end of the day,
he was laughing about it.
you give up a round. Yeah, he had his head in his hands, but there was a smile on his face. So ultimately, I don't think that the gentle giant of Mako is going to be too bothered. But I mean, what Astro was talking about as far as those tempo shifts, I feel like a lot of times you see it when there is that kind of mistake and Buzz just gets angry. And angry Buzz is so terrifying because that's when he does go blast packing into C-Site and he just comes away with 3 quick kills in the blink of an eye. So it's always something to be a bit concerned about. But you know, DFM, if they continue to just improve and build off of what we have right here, I think that they could be in a very good spot.
I mean, I also have a question. Do you think these guys would give a Vandal to their sweetheart or the 40 kill rate in a ranked game?
I think that these guys definitely care more about getting points and ranking up and climbing the ladder, so I think they would definitely do the arena.
I think they would give it to their sweetheart because they're already here on the Pacific stage in rank. I mean,
I don't know what
it matters, but does it really matter?
I will side with Pekilios on this one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You always have to give it to...
Maybe Kyungmin can ask them about it later. We asked the audience. Maybe we can ask DRX or DFM, depending how this goes. Now, the first map, Lotus, was DFM's pick. You could tell they had some things prepared. The caster mentioned this as well, but it seemed like they weren't able to showcase a lot of what could have been.
Yeah, I think that, again, as the growing pains continue, we're going to see things more fleshed out. We're going to see more set plays. We're going to see just cleaner communication and plays overall from the side of DFM. Because even though the majority of them have played together in the past on Crazy Raccoon, so there is that pre-existing synergy, we don't fully know how much time they've had to try and reestablish that. Because, again, we haven't seen them in quite some time. They weren't able to make it over towards Ascension. And given all of the different changes and all of these different players that we saw that were getting signed to DFM, and even playing in some off-season stuff, we don't know how long this 5-man has been playing together, because they could have been playing with Jojo, they could have been playing with Suggest, etc. So I think it's going to take a little while to really iterate on this for them to, really get on the horse and be able to ride it.
Yeah, I will just say here for DFM, it feels like in the rounds that they were very successful at, they were able to really read the rotations of DRX. So even through all of those gripes, right, that they have to adjust, all of this and that, coming into a new team, they still have that solid ability to be able to, again, just read out their opponents, which, again, can work out in a pinch, especially when we're coming into this second map.
Yeah, that's right. Going into Breeze. Now, I feel like one map really isn't enough to determine how DFM's going to be playing this. How are they going to be responding to DRX, who surely has prepped something cool for this map?
I mean, we hope, but knowing DRX, it could just be, oh, hey, yeah, we're just going to run what we have run before. Because, I mean, we've seen them play at Red Bull home ground. They played Breeze versus Fnatic with this 5-man core. Didn't have RB and Zest at that tournament. It was Foxy9. It was Flashback. And it wasn't anything too special or particular, because, again, they haven't played this in a VCT official tournament since Istanbul in 2022, and that's when Chamber was the meta. That's when they were going up against El Diablo, and he was at full power and everything like that. So I think that we could just expect to see maybe more of stacks on Sova, which has been pretty rough to say the least. So, but it could be more of that with the KO, Harbor, etc. that they were running on that map. We'll have to just see if they do have something new.
Now let's take a look back at the first map of this series on Lotus. It was doing buzz things.
Yeah, and I mean, if any of these pistols had gone the way of DFM, this could have been a very different game, either a much closer one, or it could have been them potentially taking the win away. So something to certainly work on for the future, just trying to nail those down, but it was just very clean starts to the halves here from the side of DRX. But I mean, it's highlights abound from either side. There's so many just multi-frag moments for all these players.
Yeah, lots of shock and awe from DRX here, and I think it just goes back to what we were talking about. There's a lot of readjustment here for a team like this that hasn't really had that international experience yet, and DRX has that in spades already. So them being able to do this is still somewhat remarkable, but again, at the end of the day, they would want that dub if they can. Coming into Breeze, though, it feels like there is going to be a bit of a tall task against that, especially if, I mean, you were talking about how Stax likes to go for the Sova. I think he might even bring the Fade into Breeze, because he was pretty good on that on Lotus, and it's not the worst on Breeze if you have double controller. I think
it depends on how much work he's put in towards that Sova, because you pretty much would always rather have that as your initiator coming through, just for the info gather, and that tied in alongside the KO gives you a hell of a lot of it, because you can use that 0 point to identify just, okay, how many people are pushing up elbow right now, how many people are going to be in A main, etc. So having that in the recon darts, especially to just disrupt timing, to disrupt people who are holding hard angles on Breeze, it's really, really important. But if Stax hasn't gotten that Sova up to a point where it feels like it will work, then maybe that's when they decide to opt away from it, not quite go down that path. But
I don't know that.
I think all the Korean casters in the green room had a similar look on their face when DFM was starting to run back there. But maybe they do have something different, because we've been seeing a lot of Neon so far in both of our breezes. There has been at least that one Neon that's been in play. Still haven't really seen that chamber coming into the fold, but Yoru, of course, also ever so present. And I'm wondering, do they take a punt here? Do they try to go for something like that to just really shake things up? Or is it just going to be DRX doing what DRX typically does and playing exactly what you expect them to do?
Now, what I really like about this audience, definitely DRX is
They're playing
playing.
Yoru!
Double duelist too.
Okay,
Oh,
we've got
wow.
Foxy9 back on Jet, Buzz on Yoru, and it's not quite mirrored, but it's a little bit similar on the opposite side. The Cypher Viper's there, and we have May now bringing out this Yoru as well. Oh, I'm very happy.
I like this. If you can't have another initiator with a flash, you must go for the Yoru. And again, you have that combination. Also, biggest counter to Cypher right now has got to be the Sova. So I do see it as a staple.
And here's the biggest concern. I'll just throw this out there real quick. We have Mako on Viper, and that's it for smokes.
We have Mako on Viper, casters. Over to you.
We have Mako on Viper. We got double duelists. We got double Yorus on both sides. Thank you so much, Chubby Ninja, Asteroid, and Achilleos. This is going to be one crazy match.
Yeah, and Foxy9 back on the Jet as well with this double duelist. I mean, Buzz on the Yoru, not too shocking, especially with that what Asteroid mentioned. You know, considering that he's often played the KO and things like that to be that supporting second line of entry with the flashes, but a very different take on the Yoru pickup from DFM. Right, you've got Neth on the Harbor, so trying to cut things up a bit more, but it's going to be a tough attack for them. They need to get these early picks, because otherwise it's going to be pretty telling how you enter onto a site. And there's that pick I was talking about.
Dude, Buzz is not going to be happy about that one. Foxy answers right back, though. DFM just losing out their legs for a second, but still very much alive. Oh, as Foxy9 pushes past this Poison Cloud, it's so risky.
Well, this is kind of good bait for Cess, though. As they've all gone through halls, yeah, it's kind of hard to predict that he'd be right under from the shoot.
Oh, what? Wait, what? I guess it's right off the edge. The second one will definitely secure it, though. May still very much alive, goes in for the next shot. 22 HP, just gate crashes into safety. The plant goes through, but flashback
second round का first match में आपका स्वागत है.
A second shot, and here
और इसी के साथ DRX gonna be winning the round.
So
first round,
was
like guys,
DRX
DRX gonna be
Stacks was pretty
literally
low.
DRX
Could
gonna
have
be
still been a 1v2 victory
kidding
for
that.
DFM. But it's going to be flashback. All the impact kills coming in from flashback.
They are
here
literally,
on
guys,
this
you know.
round.
very explosive. As we got two opening picks really quickly. But as soon as that retake comes through, I mean, the pivotal position coming in from Foxy9, like you mentioned, Will.
It's like
the
awesome
shot
matches
Stacks
going on,
to get
baby.
the kill on the Cess.
Awesome
flashback.
match is going on,
So
my
quick.
dear.
Is he, you know, maybe Izu's not the only player that's the future.
No, I'm still more convinced by Izu's showing so far. But the match isn't over just yet.
Really early. Foxy9 pulling out the Outlaw. That's going to be fun to see. Off of that duelist, he loves to go peeking.
Come on, guys, like a ring.
Definitely spots one out. And you know what,
Like
with the
the
Outlaw, the
stream,
wallbang,
subscribe
the
the-
penetration on this thing, it's just so
YT channel on a Facebook
And a bit of
page.
a way far out jump
Let's
as
go.
well. I mean, Anthem just trying to switch it
Now
up. See
who's
if they can
gonna
catch him at
be
another timing,
winning the
bait out the
next
shots so
round?
they can run in as a double.
We
Look
have
at
to
the
find
default
it out
positioning
by
from
doing
DRX as
this.
well. I mean, Foxy9, you know, he's put up that wall up around shop or cave, and DFM no longer wants to challenge it. Mako watching halls. You got
Okay.
a little bit more support from Stacks.
Now
who
who's gonna be
has
winning?
recons
But
they can
let's
send out towards
find
mid
it
as well.
out.
So they've got all
Let's
these
check this
bases
out.
covered. Mako fires off a shot, and all of a sudden DFM. And I don't know if you want to keep going.
Okay, so
into it.
DFM already guys 2 people
Yeah, this
down.
is a weird
And
eke
DRX,
around where Neth just keeps getting
everyone is
caught
alive right
behind
now.
alone. Now, do they check this corner? No, but it's just a classic.
Spike down mid.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's an eco, but it's just this
Last
weird
player standing.
push up from DFM where
Okay, so guys, DFM
Neth
gonna
with the
be, oh
spike
my
who
god,
constantly gets
literally
left behind.
brutally
And he's like,
killed.
well, how am I supposed to get out of this
DRX
choke point?
brutally killed the
Right.
DFM guys,
A lot
DFM
of
players. Wow.
Solo efforts, getting caught in odd positions, and DRX just being clean with their shots. First you got Foxy9, then you got Mako.
The thing I am most impressed about with Flashback, though, I've mentioned it before, is just how calm he looks, right? He's like, oh, this is just another game of Valorant. That he's giving off that vibe on stage. I mean, who knows? You know, if we do have a chance to hear from him, maybe he's going to say this was the most nervous he's ever been. But the thing is with Foxy9, we could tell he was nervous. You know, some of the matches that he played, or even the maps when they were winning with Foxy9 on stage, you could tell that the adrenaline and the nerves were getting to him, both in his play and just how he looked on camera. Whereas Flashback, yeah, it's just saying, I mean, it's just Valorant, right?
It would be super funny if he actually said he was.
I mean, it's possible. Some people are good at hiding it.
Oh, but look at this. And the drone does not spot him as well.
38. Agar guys here pair DRX जीतती है match, तो they will win the two.
Mako's still in a pretty darn
They
good
will
position.
winning this match.
He's holding so close too.
Medusa off of the lurk, able to capture Foxy9. Mako instantly getting the trade off.
And the snake bite as well, that
To
stops
delay.
them to enter the cove at all. I mean, the only hope is that Medusa got a pick on the lurk. But what? You saw Flashback. Okay, oh my goodness.
Wants to find even more first.
No, but I thought he was pretty much part of the wall as a statue right there.
Oh, what?
3 out of 5.
Well, I would have thought that DRX would have responded.
Yo
to
man,
it.
क्या कह रहे हो
It
guys?
looked like Stacks thought it was going to
भाई
be
मुझे लग रहा है
him
guys
just
बहुत
trying to take it to
brutally
the
मारने
site.
वाले हैं इधर DRX
I
वाले
don't know, a bit
DFM
of
को.
a comms breakdown perhaps.
They gonna be
30
Some
brutally
questionable
killed.
moves, but at the end of the day, DFM 4v2 advantage to try to break into the B site.
Last player
Anthem was on the lurk as well.
Ho ho
We'll
ho!
see if Stacks can dig them out of this one, but it's not quite going to happen. Cess had the
Okay
positioning
guys,
up
so
around
DFM,
window.
you know,
DFM comes back
DFM
in.
picking the pace. Picking the pace, guys.
Alright.
DFM
Bonuses
picking
so
the
far.
pace.
Yeah, some mysteries in that one, but at the end of the day, the lurk comes in clutch from Medusa. I mean, that happened very early on into the round, so a good kill there.
That's the second one.
I am actually wondering if Buzz was trying to act like he was a decoy, because the way he was walking on that angle is really weird. I mean, could be. I don't know. Maybe we're reading too much into it.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out. I mean, if it was decoy, would you just run forward? Whatever it is, Mate now has the dimensional drift, goes into it, gets all the info on the site, and is looking to get a pinch onto, you know, maybe Flashback or Buzz. Oh, Flash doesn't quite go out, though. Buzz able to take him down. Neff makes it a bit of a trade. Medusa now back in from top of elbow. Archers is going to be where
Spike is
Mako is
planted by
positioned,
DFM,
but
guys.
without the numbers.
You have to save.
DFM is
Yeah, and the
planting
off
the
too.
planted
Exactly,
already.
yeah, a
Spike.
big investment there. So DRX not going to greet it. It's very early on into the half, so no need for that.
DFM.
But yeah, we've been seeing a lot more Yorus now with the dimensional drifts as well, where they're not just going to try to go for the flashy plays where you go for the pop flash and then jump out, go for the shorty, things like that. They really do start to utilize that ultimate as an initiating tool. Wait for your teammates and then just pop out, go for the trades. I mean, it looked like May should have had an opportunity to get the kill himself onto Buzz, but at the end of the day, only that one weapon dropped. And that should help them stabilize quite steadily, as it was a rough buy round on the third round.
Oh, nice one by
Yeah, not too bad for DFM.
DFM is still chasing, guys.
And you got to wonder again, I mean, the
DFM
way
is still
Lotus
chasing
played out for
down-
DRX, they had a stronger start. Of course, this is still just early, but this is DRX's map pick.
Yeah, and as the Des mentioned as well, even on Lotus, they won both pistols, so the score itself didn't tell the entire story. It could have been a much closer map. I mean, sure, I'm not saying we shouldn't count pistols as part of the skill level, but, you know, they started with a massive advantage. Ended up being a 13-8 score line.
Makes me wonder how DFM might fare against a team like Team Secret as well, so we'll save that for a future day, but for now, DFM continuing to try to push through. It is them up against a slightly wounded DRX, though. Foxy9 with the op still very much alive and just trying to get an angle, but look at all of these walls.
Yeah, they still haven't found any picks that they would want yet either.
Time to jump.
And with that, Spike goes down. Neff gets it done. Stacks, no angle seen either.
What a
As
ball.
soon as
Here.
you know the high tide
By
goes
the
down,
harbor,
toxic
guys.
screen
What a
comes
ball
up.
by the
And then after that, I don't know, you still got a little bit more utility. One more cascade is available. Oh, look at the gate crash back into safety. Reckoning deployed as well. DRX starting to feel the pressure. Foxy9 has to push up front, goes in for the tap, wants to bait out peaks. Here comes a bit of a flash, but DRX are landing their shots. Buzz goes in for yet another. Flashback gets one of his own. Foxy9 gets another shot too. And despite all of those utilities and ultimates spent,
DRX still
claims
have
the round.
power.
Yeah, the tempo
They
just
still
one
have
step ahead of DFM.
advantage.
The original idea seemed to be that it was going to be Mace jump
DRX
peeking,
have
then
still
gate
advantage,
crashing out.
guys.
Off of that, Medusa goes on the lurk, and then you kind of chain the lurks as well as you're holding out in main, but they realize they're already way close up to pyramids, so you need to just join back in main. The Reckoning sent a little deep as well, so DRX able to start pushing out in front of it, avoid those stuns. Clean shots across the board for DRX.
Nice.
Really, really clean. I think that was one of the
Nice, nice.
difference makers too. DFM, although they do recognize some of the situations, you know, sometimes
DRX players are still
it's
good,
just
guys.
tough.
Yeah.
A little bit slower on the decision making, and now it's going to be a DRX feeling a little bit more rejuvenated. But what is that swing from Medusa?
Foxy lose.
That was one of the snappier swings against the operator. It's a good call from Medusa. That shakes up the setup from DRX quite a bit, but lots of tools still. The pit remaining for a little bit longer on A main as well.
Just a bit, but hearing the footsteps out towards mid, Mako wants to investigate. That fake out was kind of used as well. Prompts made to kind of peek back down. Gate crash will be used as he regroups with his squad. So now it's all up to Buzz actually to kind of receive and welcome them over to the B side. Flashback here as well. Oh, great double burst. 2 kills for each of the DRX members. Now it's all down to May. Spotted out, flashes out, but has to turn tail and hide.
Oh, and he's getting chipped down even lower.
Ah,
A good gate
DRX
crash.
Buzz
And
gonna
Buzz
win.
drawing so much attention to the back of sight. Frees up Flashback to hold close angles. A surprising double kill throws off DFM away from their own tempo. Then they're struggling to at least try to clean up Buzz as well, but the headshots line up.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy, guys. That
And it's just, again,
That is
a
totally
DRX
insane.
on defense that knows exactly how to play around the corners, knows exactly how to jiggle back and forth and strafe shoot perfectly. Flashback, that's clean. Buzz, a little bit cleaner too.
Timeout, surely from DFM. Trying to see what other answers they can have, because without getting a clean first kill, and usually from the main force, I mean, Medusa had a great first kill here, but you know, it's away from the main force. They had to regroup, and at that point, the execute starts to look a little obvious when Yoro's your only duelist. So I'm curious to see what else they have prepared. Now, working mid, like they did here, mid and hall is that pressure. It does shake the default just a bit, right? You have to have many more angles to cover, and sometimes maybe that means you can't put all your trips on one site. You have to use one on halls at the very least. That used to be the go-to way back when. So there's some options to force DRX out of their comfort zone, but DFM, what's their choice?
That is the question, especially for this timeout. I mean, you're absolutely right. With Yoro being their sole duelist, Will, it's a little bit tricky and difficult to really create that space for your team. You don't have the same mobility and dive potential that Jet does, or Raze. So at least for this round, Anthem on the Guardian, just gonna try to play it safe for a second. DRX, though, starting to stretch their legs a little bit. Look at what Buzz is doing down halls.
I like it after the timeout as well. You know they have enough money for a half armor buy. Oh, he jumps down. Make sure that they can't pressure mid too hard. Gate crashes out. Doesn't find solid info.
It does invite Medusa for a bit of a visit, though.
Yeah, but see, this is the change from DRX. That trip now put on Hall, so the earlier mid pressure. That way they don't have to keep watching both Nest and Hall. So DRX adjusting. They still have the gate crash for backup going to B. Don't have to worry about anything like a KO. So the default is here for DRX. Still finding comfort. Different angles on A side as well. Mako close. He's used that position before.
Wow. He's just ready. Buzz sends out the fake out as well. Just a bit more info. There it is. Foxy9 has arrived up around bridge. That's the first kill. Stax picks up the other. And then Mako, getting gunned down actually by Anthem. It gives DFM a little bit more space, but how long can they hold this on? Because Foxy9 has his sights available. Stax with a bit of a lineup from the Shock Dart too. May still very much in the game. Just wants to go in to retrieve the spike. 15 seconds left, and he has to stick the plant. Oh.
He's going to get tagged, but can he get out of it? No! Stax follows him right through on the jump.
Stuck in on the first beam. So although it was a good idea, did not quite anticipate Stax's Hunter's Fury. DRX investing every cent and dime to secure the round wins.
Yeah, and the quick decision from Stax as well, both on the Shock Dart and the Hunter's Fury. I mean, the pit's used to try to just get into the site, because they think that's going to be enough to win it out. Yeah, and he sees that coming up. Yeah, the pit's being used. He doesn't even actually necessarily hear the pit when he draws out the Shock Dart, but he just wants to deny that spike going into the site, and then he backs off knowing that he has the Hunter's Fury.
This is a nice
Incredible.
that goes there.
3 rounds, 1 in a row now. That win bonus is flowing.
Yeah, on a rough round for DFM. They're kind of now stuck into their own half-armor meta.
Wow.
May's still putting up kills, but it's not leading to much anymore.
It's just single frags and then trades for DRX. Foxy9 punishing with that operator, but Stax now coming in to take a peek. It somehow doesn't pay off.
Poison orb emitting.
More members than he anticipated, perhaps. And then we got some pings from DFM.
Yeah, but look at Foxy9's position. They know they've lost mid entirely, so he just takes over the entirety of A main into all the way into the cave. Now, if he peeks out any further, his legs will show on that spy cam.
I like it. Staying vigilant, trying to read the timings for how DRX might rotate. Still is a play in towards the A site though, so trying to make use of the pyramids and the toxic screen. Medusa with such a deep position actually pinches on towards Mako. Starting to look like a very secure DFM round.
Yeah, this is a weird round just because, you know, DFM's going to be able to buy up next round anyway. But Flashback gets 2 in a row? Now with the, yeah, of course you use the Blade Storm then.
How did that happen? I gotta see that. He gets a third
triple.
too as he pushes out. Foxy9 just making noise, trying to buy it away from Anthem. Timer is ticking. We spent 1 left click, 1 knife.
Flashback's running in, he's ready for it. The Shock Dart doesn't go out, and he follows him off the spray around the pyramid. A beautiful 4K. Gets the Neural Theft with the defuse. The Academy youngster now on the main squad. A very impactful round win for him.
You know, we were wondering, right, on Lotus, you know, he had some of these 1-on-2 situations. If he can clutch this out, he will be amazing. Guess what? 2-on-4, he can do it just as well. He took down 3.
I'm starting to see why the DRX players are hyping up Flashback. Oh, he's got the energy as well. I like it. Okay.
Not just calm anymore. All right.
Okay. The thing is he doesn't seem to be a very flashy player, but in some ways similar to Mako, just doesn't get shaken up no matter what. Always expecting the next target.
The pop off though.
Well, that's unlike Mako for sure.
But yeah, whatever it is, here's the next round. Dimensional Drift was deployed. Hunter's Fury and all the ults and utilities too. Foxy9 starting to feel the pressure, but he's still okay with the shorty. Pops off over onto the decoy, and May wins out the duel. Trades from Buzz though. Flashback still very much alive. Look at the movement. Support coming through, and he picks up the 3rd kill. Medusa off of a bit of a lurk. Can't quite find all too much as he gets spotted out towards the end. Buzz takes him out.
Let this be a lesson to all the other Korean players. Pop-offs matter. All right, the confidence. No, I'm serious. In a game like Valorant, the momentum matters so much. The energy matters. Obviously, it could lead to overheats, but Sure, Flashback's been doing consistently well across each map, but the way he's swinging out of the smokes, the way he's taking fights alongside veterans on the squad of DRX.
I hear what you're saying. The confidence, the energy, you love all of that. I'm just laughing because as soon as you say that, Mako's face shows up and he doesn't pop off.
Well, Mako's an exception. You know, Mako, he talks about how if he had the aim of Flashback, maybe it would have won champions. Maybe if you popped off, you would have won champions. I don't know. Maybe that's the secret ingredient.
Maybe it's got to be whatever it is. Medusa definitely has a bit of aim as well. Off the lurks, off of May, the Guardian shots. Despite this being a half by DFM, they are still thorny. They are still ready to shoot through.
Should be able to go all the way to the plant. Now, Dimensional Drift available for Buzz, so there's some options. He's actually dug all the way deep with the gate crash as well.
Okay.
You can't read that one.
I love how he sends the great crash out towards mid as well, and then maybe he goes in for a bit of pressure play towards the back of A main.
Just wants to spot how many people are where. Wow. 2 in main flashes just to keep them tied up. 3rd and 4th. He's isolated. Oh, that's a good shot from Flashback.
What the heck? Incredible long-range duels. The Reckoning was saved for this moment. Tried to go in for that gate crash, but not quite in time. Mako, deeper position, has to hold it for his teammate. Unfortunately, Flashback drops down, so it comes down to the one-on-one, and May with the Guardian picks out 1, 2, 3, and to the 4.
Yeah. Just the unfortunate part there is May tried to go in for an upgrade on the weapon, but not enough time left. The spike goes off, so not even the Guardian kept over.
Still a good win.
I mean, when you're this far behind, though, you gotta make sure you're taking everything you can.
True.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see if it adds up.
But I'm just impressed. I mean, these were all just Guardian shots. Getting the frag out towards halls. I mean, they're starting to get an idea for how DRX positions themselves. We are nearing the end of the first half, though.
Here. Could be another potential 7-5.
That is how we ended off the first half on the first map.
That's a good move as well. Just note that Buzz spams that out and then he gate crashes out, and it could have been bait for someone to peek in to Foxy9's operator.
Oh, Mako.
Yeah, but DFM plays it smart. They have no idea.
Oh, Mako. Oh, no. Uncharacteristic whip, but still the spray transfer just as good. Neth comes back in for that trade, finds yet another onto Foxy, but Buzz trades right back. Medusa gets the shot through mid, but then his position is revealed. Stax knows and wants to play around the pyramids. Comes back in to support Flashback. Owl Drone deployed. They knew where one player was, but not quite sure about Anthem. So it comes down to the gun duels. Oh, jump peeks and wall bangs. Medusa is coming up from behind. 8 rounds left in the mag. Stax tries to stick it halfway, but just left a little bit undetected. Medusa comes back up in full.
Medusa draws out so much aggro from mid in that post plant. What a crucial lurk. Starts off with a kill as well, a second, and then the cyber cage, and then he breaks the drone from Anthem. Like you said, that keeps him hidden just long enough for Flashback to not have his crosshairs lined up on that corner.
You gotta admire how sharp some of these Crazy Raccoons players are.
You mean DFM?
Okay, DFM, yes.
They are DFM. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you. They are DFM. They definitely are, and they are showing up bigger performances than last year. If we can end this 7-5, I might actually, have some hope of this possibly going for map 3. May with the Dimensional Drift now, looking to initiate on towards B site, or at least create a bit of pressure once more. Medusa lurking out towards A main.
Oh, this is hard, though. I mean, this is how they're trying to take up space elsewhere, but May's got to have an escape ready to go. It's too late. You spotted 2 members on opposite sides. What a risk.
Very, very risky. Everyone's all split up. Now you got Buzz, who took down Medusa.
If he gets more than 1 here.
Yeah.
I mean, then the round's over.
Okay, Cascade flashes through. Wow. Good play, but good shot and good flick away from Anthem as well. He dodged that flash like it's nothing. Just in time for that high tide 2 from Neth. And it keeps Stax at bay.
But they couldn't get Neth the plant, so no Reckoning available. Was only 1 point away. Well, this isn't something DRX has done too much of, but they're wary of it. They have enough people still left alive. 3 versus 3?
Unbelievable.
And the neural theft. You have to push out. You got to take this fight.
They are pinched, they are sandwiched in. Foxy9, if you don't take the fight against Flashback, Foxy9 is right on the other end. They held their ground, but it's not quite enough as Flashback, unbelievable peaks.
I mean, I know it's a low-cost ultimate, but what was that? 4 neural thefts, 3 neural thefts? I mean, quite a few. Sure, they fed him a couple, you know, defuses and things like that, but what a couple of rounds from Flashback.
Certainly speeds up the process and the retakes too of that neural theft. So, I mean, that's the story today. We're seeing DRX, we are seeing new compositions, and we are seeing Flashback.
All right, this fan says that they will buy dinner if, it didn't say who, but if they win, and it said per person $50. So that's like a really decent dinner, like a nice dinner.
It doesn't say who.
It doesn't say, but that means if anybody, right? Like that's up to interpretation, so I'll take it. I'm down for a $50 dinner from a fan.
Yeah, something like Korean barbecue, whatever it is, the map's not over yet. 8-4. It's a lot of improvements all around. Sharp shots coming out from players such as May, Medusa. Thing is, though, as we swap over to the next half, I mean, how do you make the compositions work? It's
Well,
a little bit better, yeah.
Yeah, it should be easier for DFM, or at least it's easier to showcase what they prepped. But I'm curious, because Buzz, Yoru, depending on how mobile that is, I mean, I think that's going to be the make or break.
That's what I'm thinking about. Theoretically, good composition for defense. You got Medusa on that Cypher. You've got the double controller. But you also got double duelist in the form of not just Buzz, but also Foxy9, who has been sniping. He hasn't had the best performances, given how he loves to peek out on his own, but still enough that it confuses DFM at times.
Fast push out with the Cascade on A, so Gate Crash available for backup as well.
Well, everyone just kind of holds back. May already pinched down by Foxy9.
That's an early camp.
Ooh.
Oh!
Wow, Spike Planter killed.
A good pick out. I mean, that's enough time for backup to arrive from mid, and DRX knows this.
Hence, they are not pushing up front to retrieve the spike just yet. I'm more curious about Mako's positioning, though, as he wraps back up around. The high tide does block off quite a bit towards B main, though.
Good cyber cage from Flashback.
Stays in that thing. Knows that Neth is right around the corner. Oh, but past the toxic screen. As soon as it drops, though, picks off Cess. Neth right around a Rosie with that pillar. But Mako lands a shot. Too many targets, a little bit overwhelmed. DRX, another pistol.
Flashback, just almost robotic to a certain extent. But that's what you want from someone that you can trust to anchor, really just hold, you know, one angle, one part of the map. And the cyber cage, I mean, even though he doesn't necessarily get a kill off of it, the fact that it now makes him question, is he in the cage? Is he going to pop out on the other side? Is he still in the cubby? That forces him. It funnels him all the way back in to the other side.
At some point, they just decided, like, okay, we don't want to deal with him. Let's try to run backside. But that is where he finds that opening. So with the pistol win now, Foxy9 on another outlaw buy. DFM off the save.
All classics. I mean, that's, okay. An ambitious jump, but a clean shot from Flashback nonetheless.
Walks up like it's nothing. Now we've got that gate crash play onto site. Most of it is clear. Fake out clears it out in full. But Flashback is in such a good position too. Gets a clean second one, now feeling a bit more pressure from the double peaks, but Mako instantly comes back in to respond.
One enemy remaining.
Easy double burst.
I was about to say, if he does get traded, that's a bulldog over to DFM, but Mako's there at long range. Good support from the veteran older brother. Stax loving what his teammates can show under his leadership. I mean, Stax is one of those players, again, he's had great moments, but as a leader, it's been very up and down, and you could tell that he had trouble handling the pressure. I mean, he's spoken out about it as well. But now rejuvenated with two young players under his command.
And this is just Kickoff, but I am starting to wonder, like, you know, champions being in Korea this year, is there going to be a little bit more pressure towards the later half of the year?
I mean, yeah, if they'll have to get there for sure.
They want to.
If that doesn't happen, boy. We saw a similar situation with Masters Tokyo last year, and I don't think DRX would want to be in those shoes ever.
Definitely not. Which is why this performance so far has been good. Just clearing things out to check. They see that spy camera.
Spike
Shooting
planted.
things out. Medusa still trying to play around. Oh, he sneaks underneath the tripwire. Takes down Stacks. But the spike is still down.
Yeah, a little bit high on the tripwire, but at the end of the day, just trying to buy time here.
That's not bad. They just make sure that they can get numbers advantage.
The post plants are coming. The lineups from the snake bites. It's already on the
whiz
way.
Through the air.
They need to push out.
Oh, they're running out of time. DFM, they're clearing off way too much. Outlaw still fires through. Trying to tap back into it. Buzz lands it through. Seth's trying to stick it. He's trying to make it go through, and Anthem will secure the frag on towards Buzz just enough for Seth to stick the defuse.
Oof. That could have been dicey just because I think DRX made the right call to say, all right, we've already lost enough members. They're still not peeking out. So since they've spent enough time, fire off the snake bites first, and then we'll still have 3 members on this firing range from window. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, a little bit of better weaponry and still more members for DFM. Yeah, Anthem's relieved on that one. He knows what trouble they could have faced there.
Almost. High Tide was nice, though. 10-5 score, and now we go back into it. DRX spies up. What is this stack up around the A site?
Yeah, an interesting look here. The decoy invested as well. They want to push out that much is certain. You have the gate crash as well. That's why they do it. Right, so it puts the pressure on. Now if DRX wants to shake up the default, they're going to have to invest a lot because you heard and saw so many different pieces of utility. And DFM's banking on that. Now they're trying to erase mid, and then gate crash will be there to support B site. The problem is Medusa is all alone.
I'll handle this.
Looking for a pocket kill.
He does have a toxic screen just to help him for a time being. May getting a long-range shot from the back of arches. But here comes Buzz trying to initiate. Oh, spotted out by Medusa. Foxy9 trying to recuperate from those losses, but the flash is just too darn good. A flawless round from DFM. What?
The first pick from May is crucial. Cuts off the second line from DRX, so, you know, sure, it's Buzz still looking for information. He actually gets really good information. He hears the gate crash, spots May, and then he's able to eventually push all the way in so that Medusa gets pinged out away from his cyber cage as well, but at that point, you're like, well, May's there watching for me as well. Buzz not able to pick his targets quick enough, and Medusa turns around. And Stacks was not too happy about that round because they had a plan, and they couldn't execute it at all, really.
Yeah, and you really gotta think about why. I mean, DFM doing good, but was there something wrong on DRX's side too? Whatever it is, next round, here it comes, and it's gonna be an eco for DRX.
This change is good from DFM. This time, they're stacking A. They're sticking with it. They want to take the fight to him.
Oh, but DRX is not going to get that fight too easily. What a flash, and then Stacks to peek off of it. Another flash now, and Buzz continuing to strafe wider than ever, than May could track. On to the next. Oh, they're peeking one by one now. Will is not happy.
No, that's not why I'm not happy. That's crazy that flashback hits it. I was scared that he was going to. Sure, he's expecting it, but he's backing up to stop when you're holding backwards and then break it enough so that you can hit that clean shot. Sure, he misses the first one, but a good shot. I mean, Medusa had to rotate quickly. Could it have been cleaner? It always can if you're losing the round, but flashback. What a player for DRX to pick up, or at least promote.
That's why he's here.
Spike planted.
Spike plant secure now for DRX. It's just gonna be Anthem trying to do whatever he can. They have enough to buy up in the next round, so
you know, a little bit of a beat coming out, I think, from Buzz. A little bit of a trying to get the chant going, perhaps, in the crowd. but it's going to be a save. I mean, you have to. Still only up to 11, still doable, still can buy up for DFM.
Yeah. And so far, I mean, just showing again that DRX can always recover that quickly. I mean, sometimes it's just these strange rounds again with like pistols and then starting to peek in one by one.
Yeah, I'm never a big fan of aggression against an eco, that's for certain. I mean, that's just so calm from Flashback. But I think this is more one of those cases of DFM so focused on what they were planning to do across multiple rounds, right? Because you pushed out from Cascade once, then you pushed out, you put pressure, then you rotate, tighten up the map. This time you're keeping people there to take the fight. You think you should win because you have 2 members, so with the better weaponry, you should be able to trade out. Unfortunately, it was the first pick with a Sheriff, and May's all alone.
So just again, I mean, some odd happenings for DFM for reasons that I can't really tell you, but it does put DRX up at the cusp of match point.
Oh, these 2 members sitting here is so risky, because if you go down, the round is instantly over. The double controllers stacked together.
Oh, they're kind of lined up for each other too. I thought like if Crossfire might be better, but now it's gonna have to be that Cove to bail them out. May able to get a good shot on towards mid though, so that's not too bad. However, Halls has been compromised, and it's just a bit more pressure. Now they're thinking about it, but there is that gate crash sound too. Foxy9 dives right in off of that, and there is space created.
Seth's just trying to make sure not everyone can come through. He's trying to tie them up as Medusa already near the entrance of Cave.
Mako sees.
And Medusa's going to need to win that fight. He's going to wait for the main forces to start the attack.
Just to soften up the blow, artillery comes
Dimensional
in.
drift.
Flashes through. Seth able to get the first shot onto Foxy9, but Buzz though trades right back. May comes in as well. Mako is just wanting to land that snake bite. It does buy a bit of time, but Medusa, like you mentioned, Will, striking from behind.
A great use of dimensional drift, and Medusa just does not show himself, because at some point, Mako's gonna have to turn around, because you want to figure out where is that, how far is that Yoru coming. And I love the patience coming in with the blindside as well. He doesn't use it immediately. They're able to get the first pick, and then he sends the decoy out. A great bait out around the pyramid.
It's good stuff coming out from DFM. I mean, a lot tighter teamwork than before. What you're talking about with Medusa not showing himself too early, waiting for the team, May initiating with the dimensional drift. There's so much at work. But as the rounds go on, DRX's ultimates start to build up as well.
Yeah, surely DRX has a plan to use everything here. I mean, look at the Cypher utility as well. It's just trying to cover their back all the way around.
Oh boy. Flash plays take down Flashback though. But here comes Foxy9 with the updraft.
Spotted. Yep, that's Sandra's Fury, and it's the choke point as well.
Allows for Foxy just to drift up clearly. Medusa, last one left, and Foxy9 already knows where he is.
And we've seen this be repeated a couple times. I mean, I'm all for lurks, I'm all for flanks if they work, but the thing is if that's your game plan, the backup's always going to be late, which means you should either really just empty out as much as you can and at least not take these somewhat broken fights. Problem being, Breeze, the site area is so huge, you don't want to give it all for free. So you have to fight at some point, right? You don't want to give all the way up through yellow, all the way up through bridge. And DRX is abusing that against CFM right now. They know that the backup's not always going to be there. It never was for DFM.
That's one of those pain points at the very least. DFM still, I mean, a good test for the first debut match that they have this year in kickoffs. Now they can see, like, these are some of the improvements that we still need to make and whatnot. But on the other hand, DRX, I mean, we can't stop saying good things about them.
Well, it's an interesting match between these two teams because obviously DFM definitely looks more improved than the latter half of their run last year in VCT Pacific 2023. But DRX also coming in with changes on the roster. So the question is still going to remain in a lot of teams' minds as they're trying to assess their potential opponents of, well, is this the case of DRX really coming back to compete for that first place in Pacific and try to take it back away from PaperX? Or is it just kind of that half and half of, okay, like DRX is looking okay, there's some rough spots? Because honestly, a lot of it is also just off of really good aim and diligence, right? Just good trades, good, holding angles. Not any much of a crazy strat coming out. I mean, sure, the Yoru, not a puck we've seen from them on Breeze, but not cooking up anything entirely new. So I don't know if they're quite challenged to that limit where we can really get a gauge of, all right, are they there to try to challenge PaperX, or are they really here to see we're taking it back?
Of course, you would love to see.
Yeah, and that would change your look on DFM as well, right? Because if it's the latter, it's like, okay, well, DFM put up a really good fight then. But if it's the former, it's okay. DFM seems to have improved. We'll have to wait and see from other matches as well.
That is fair enough. Leaves you to think a lot about what is going on in the match right now as Neth peeks out and takes down Flashback. No more lurks available for DRX. Trying to find that opening into that A split. However, you've got Cess.
Yeah, he's just stationed here, but he has backup this time. They're already here. A double angle available. Foxy9 with a quick flick with the operator. Cleans up one.
Despite the good adjustments for DFM, long-range duels, and Foxy9 just loves to go and pick things apart. Now Angle swapped over towards yellow, or back towards the back of Pyramids. It's going to be Medusa that falls next. The Viper's Pit, though, and Cess tries to defend it with his life. Able to do it for the time being up against Foxy, but here comes the Dimensional Drift.
I don't think he saw him.
Oh, no.
He's still looking for him.
Oh, but he's placed a little bit early. Mako gets the timing off of it. And now Buzz back into safety. 30 seconds left. It's a 2-on-2. You still got that Harness Rio on Anthem, though.
Yeah, Anthem just needs to try to wait. Unfortunately, Neth not in a great position. Reckoning was used as well way too early to try to keep Cess alive.
Waiting for a clear advantage before they push up front. They tapped it. Anthem goes in for the commitment. Mako trying not to get spotted, but the beam does reveal his position. Now sticks to plan as he runs out of time. The recon reveals everything. DFM wallbangs themselves into an 8th win.
A lot used. Got the Pit, Reckoning, and Hunter's Fury away from DFM. So honestly, a huge investment, but you'll take whatever you can get to try to claw into overtime. That first flick from Foxy9 really allowed the possibility, because otherwise I thought DFM's setup this time was good. The early backup, you still had a crossfire coming in from Medusa and May, and that keeps Cess able to just focus on that A main cave entrance.
That was a little bit interesting though with the corner that he played and Buzz not being able to see him. But still, next round, DRX. It's just Flashback with a Sheriff. Not lurking this time though, looking to make something happen towards B.
Yeah, because if they can get in, if they can get the plant, that's the Pit. Oh, way too wide of a swing away for the anti-flash.
What a play from Foxy. However, off of it, the follow-up just instantly traded by May. Now on to the next one. It's Flashback who tries to make things happen, stays alive long enough for Mako and Stacks to come in now.
The Pit is going to go up. It's a 1v2, but no, he's still waiting. Oh, they spot him first.
Just want to ensure that, okay, he is coming from arches.
Well, that and of course the drone as well, right? Make sure that the drone gets the spot all the way to the timer, so good patience.
What is Medusa gonna do? Tries to wrap around the corners. Mako can play around so much. Viper's Pit is gonna drop pretty soon now, and Stacks has an angle. Recon up as well.
Oh, but he's running away so far, he gets one.
All right, surely Stacks plays for time. He knows how to make this happen.
Only 4 shots for Medusa.
Running out of time. Sticks it half, sticks it full. Stacks.
Stick it all the way.
Stacks.
It's going to
How is it going to fare against this composition?
I don't know. DRX now has at least one game of tape against that talent, so we'll see if it's enough for that coaching staff to come prepared. It's gonna be a tough one, but I think it's gonna be an exciting one. Right?
Still, yeah. We got the interview with, I think that's Flashback up on stage, so we'll toss it over to Kyungmin.
Last match win goes to DRX. Congratulations, I'm here with Flashback. 안녕하세요. 축하드립니다.
안녕하세요.
네, 오늘 DRX 팬분들이 또 많이 와주셨는데 특히나 더 깊을 것 같아요. Today we have a lot of DRX fans in the crowd, so you must be really happy for today's win, right?
아유, 보러 와주셔서 감사합니다. 정말 감사해요.
Thank you for coming to see our match. Thank you so much, fans. And for the next question, you newly joined the team. People say it's upgraded DRX. So how do you feel about today's match? And is there gonna be any difference in DRX? 오늘 또 DRX에 새롭게 합류하면서 팬분들은 뭐 업그레이드된 DRX를 기대하고 있다라는 말도 있는데요. 오늘 경기를 통해서 그걸 증명하셨을까요? 어땠을까요?
첫 판에는 살짝 이게 떨려서 잘 못했던 것 같은데 두 번째 판은 그래도 나쁘지 않게 보여줬다 생각해서 기분 좋아요, 되게. 너무 좋아요.
좋습니다. Okay, for map 1, I was a bit nervous, so I didn't show my full performance. But at map 2, I got back and think I did well and showed and led to the team's win. 또 이제 다음으로 맵 2에서는 버즈의 요루를 봐서 좀 인상적이었고 또 탑 타격대 조합이 있었거든요. 맵 1과 2, DRX가 각각 어떻게 헤쳐나갈지에 대해서 좀 여쭤볼게요. At map 2, we saw Buzz with Yoru, which was unusual, and 2 duelist comps. So what can you say about how DRX went through map 1 and map 2?
앞으로 조금 더 공격적인 DRX가 되도록 노력하겠습니다.
오늘보다 더 공격적으로요?
네, 좀 더 공격적으로 해볼게요.
오늘도 충분히 공격적이셨는데 또 얼마나 더 잘하실지 기대가 됩니다.
감사합니다.
Okay. Yes, Flashback said we will be more aggressive, more attacking, and we'll be a better DRX. Thank you for the interview. 인터뷰 감사드립니다.
감사합니다.
축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
We have one thing left. We have a present for the fans. 이거 팬분들을 위한 선물인데 여기 사인해 주시면 되거든요.
오케이.
You can write it wherever you want. 어디다 해도 돼요. 뭐 여기 배에다가 해도 되고. It's a cute little penguin. Yes, and fans who raise your hands or shouts. 손 드는 팬분들 아니면 소리가 크다 하는 팬 쪽으로 승리의 요정 펭귄을 던져주시면 됩니다.
제가요?
네, 앞으로 아니면 뒤로.
소리 한번 듣겠습니다.
Wow, it's loud. Whoa! To the first row. 잘하셨어요.
감사합니다.
예. 오늘 승리 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
네, 제가 이건 가져가도록 할게요. Okay, this was Flashback from DRX, and I'll pass to you next. Bye. See you again tomorrow.
Bye
Wait, hold
bye.
it. Hold it. Oh my goodness, the DRX rookie Flashback honestly changed the fate for DFM in this second map. He is proving his mettle. We're playing with the plushies on our desk right now. You can't see it.
Sorry,
but-
I'll show it later when we.
But DRX looked incredible on this map.
Absolutely, and I think he's the man to just talk about. Flashback has just been absolutely insane. He creates those lurk openings. He just gets the multi-kills. He basically makes it easy for Buzz to do whatever Buzz wants, and he was even just having fun at one of those rounds, you know, making noise with his weapon. So Flashback, really a statement game in this second map.
It really was. And I mean, he kind of talked about just trying to settle in a little bit on map 1, and he felt like he really came alive on map 2. And we kind of saw that in the performance as well, because there were those multi-kill rounds coming through for Flashback. He was having a strong performance on that Killjoy, but they were way more spaced out. This was hyper-condensed Flashback pop-off back-to-back-to-back. Just so many rounds where he just won them and kept DRX very much in the driver's seat for this one. But still a solid effort here for DFM. Both maps, they managed to pick up 8 rounds apiece, and that's still a solid improvement compared to the last time they played against DRX. It was a 13-8 into a 13-3 stomp for DRX to get a 2-0. But, I mean, solid performance from both of these Cyphers. Seems like this is going to be an ever important agent when it comes down to playing on Breeze. We continue to see the importance, the impact that we get from those Sentinel players. But the other trend that I'm kind of noticing is that in the 3 times that we've had Breeze thus far, it's the double duelist team that have managed to come out on top.
Yeah, and I guess it just makes it so that even whether depending not depending on whether which side you're on, sorry, I'm losing my words now, you just have so many more options when you have aggressive agents available to you, especially when it's like that Yoru, that if you're in a tight spot, you can always just use your gate crash to go the other side of the map, be very safe, and then just do it all over again.
I mean, you called it earlier, that second duelist was pretty crucial. May obviously is the solo duelist on DFM. I think they just need to rework it a bit. But like you said, Achilleos, we saw some good ideas come out from DFM. I don't think this is definitely not the end of the road for them, and I think we're going to see some interesting games moving forward. Today was in the day, but they were a bit unlucky, you know, going up against a titan like DRX. Now, I got to ask you, Achilleos, you were talking about Stacks on the Sova earlier. Did he please you this time?
No, I mean, for sure, compared to what we've seen in the past. It felt like, because Dax has always been good at rifling, so that was never the issue when he was playing Sova. It was all about his util usage, and we saw some really nice shock darts that just came flying out of nowhere. It seems like he put a lot of time into learning the balances, making sure that he knew all the recon dart setups, and overall, this was a much stronger performance from Stacks on that Sova compared to when he debuted. I also have to give a shout out to Buzz, who had only played Yoru once before this in any kind of tracked match. And the first time he played it, didn't go so well. 77 ACS, went 2-14. I don't even know what game it was, but it was a damn poor one. But so a much better performance from him. Clearly was putting in some work on that Yoru.
Yeah, and again, they finally realized just have Foxy9 on the Jet. It doesn't make sense to try to flex him on any other duelist because Buzz can actually do that. He's more of an assortment kind of duelist player. So finally they realize it and it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I really like about DRX this time, especially with Foxy9, is a lot how they've really come together. You could see a lot of the comms just, you could see the chemistry happening, especially on Breeze. So I'm really liking this upgraded DRX, or maybe evolved is a better word. Yeah, we're kind of like trying to figure out how to evolve.
We have
They're
to
evolving.
see more still. So
Yeah.
whether or not it's an upgrade is yet to be seen. It seems like DFM overall, I'm willing to say, yeah, this is an upgrade for them, absolutely. But for DRX, we need to see a little bit more. The thing that we didn't get the touch on as we had the bracket up on screen, though, is we kind of have this pseudo rematch, obviously a very different team, but between DRX and Talon to see who is going to be moving forward into the playoffs, much like we kind of had at Lock-In.
Yeah, so this is going to be exciting. And the first 2 days here at Kickoff, it's been fantastic seeing all the rookies and the new players completely rise up to the occasion. They've been phenomenal across all the teams. And I'm really curious to see that tomorrow we're going to see PaperX versus Gen G. And is Monyet going to be able to step up to those big shoes too? We also have Bleed and Global and T1 and Zeta Division. Tomorrow is going to be a crazy day of games. We've seen so much potential from all of them. Bleed and Global is another game I'm really excited for.
And Polvi versus Ye, that looks like it's going to be a really nice matchup between the two because Polvi still had a strong performance despite the loss for Global.
Yeah, the last one as well, Saya player versus Depp. Depp was firing on all cylinders in the match that they played, and as well as Saya player when T1 had their match a couple of days ago. So much to look forward to for tomorrow.
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, get a good night's rest because tomorrow is going to be poppin'. Thank you for joining us here on VCT Pacific Kickoff, and see you tomorrow for more action.